Welcome to RFM Audio. This streaming audio broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. You are listening to RFM Audio on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. This broadcast will begin in 90 seconds. Welcome to RFM Audio. This streaming audio broadcast will begin in 1 minute. You are listening to RFM Audio on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. This broadcast will begin in 30 seconds. Welcome to RFM Audio. This streaming audio broadcast will begin in 10 seconds.
And with that sound, we say good morning, everyone, and welcome to historic Doyle Field in Leominster for the 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic, for the first time ever right here on RFM and RFM Audio. Great to have you along with us. Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins, great to have you along with us for this Thanksgiving morning and our countdown to kickoff. Coming up at the top of the hour, the historic 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic, also known as 51 minutes from now. We've got a full slate of countdown to kickoff today. We've got a lot of fun and excitement packed in here over the next 51 minutes here from Doyle Field, and we are looking forward to it. Leominster comes in with their 7-3 overall record in this 2022 campaign. Fitchburg, a 4-6 overall record. The all-time standings in this series across 141 meetings after Week 1's Leominster victory earlier on this season, a 48-6 win for Leominster back at Crocker Field in Week number 1, is 70 wins, 60 losses, and 10 ties all-time in favor of the blue and white. That is the historical backdrop on this one. Coming up on our countdown to kickoff trip around the classics today, we've got our marquee matchup. We'll also go inside the headset with Leominster head coach Devin Gates and Fitchburg head coach Greg Graham. We'll have the starting lineups for both teams, the coin toss, and then it's play-by-play action right here on RFM Audio. It's great to have you along with us. Our partners at Leominster TV join us at the bottom of the hour at 9:30. Comcast 9, Verizon Channel 32, streaming on their website, leominster.tv, the world over. We also welcome our live partners joining us today. It is not often in a 128-year history that we get a chance to welcome a brand new partner, especially in a medium that is 102 years old. But today we can say officially, welcome to 95.1 FM, WLPZ, and WLPZ.org. They've been with us all season long, but today we get to welcome them to the Thanksgiving Day Classic, and they become the fourth radio station all time that we can chronicle to cover this series and have the play-by-play action on 95.1 FM. Sonny Levine, his volunteer staff, we thank them all so very much for their partnership all year long, and we welcome them live today to historic Doyle Field. And all of you, wherever you are, radio is such an important part of this 128-year tradition, 142 meetings, and the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic. We'll have more background as we continue, but let's get the first thoughts of those who will join me to call this one. Bill Thomas, I turn to you first, and here we go. It's Leominster and Fitchburg for the second time in a year, 142nd meeting all time. And for those that are coming into this game thinking that Leominster 7-3, Fitchburg 4-6, oh, forget about it, this one's not going to matter. That's not the situation that we have here today. This is a very different Fitchburg team that took the field against Leominster in week number 1. It's also a very different Leominster team who's done a lot of growing and developing as well.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly, Todd. And first off, I want to wish everybody out there, listeners, fans, happy Thanksgiving, even rivals. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. My pool team buds out in the Hudson area, their team lost. Unfortunately, they're not going to the Super Bowl, but they had a great season out there nonetheless. And But just happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. But, yeah, you're right, Todd. I don't think we're going to see anything like we saw back in week 1. I believe it was 35-0 or somewhere in that neighborhood. Two drastically different teams now, and I'd really say more drastically different on the Fitchburg side. We've watched Leominster develop. Yeah, they came out firing on all cylinders with some unproven talent that really proved themselves over the course of the season. Fitchburg came in completely unknown, and they really struggled early on, but they turned it around. Somebody flipped a switch there midseason. They put the right pieces in the right holes, got the square pegs out of the round holes and put the round holes in the square pegs and the square, you know, how that all works. The puzzle came together for Fitchburg, and they've gone 4-1 in their last 5 games. I think that's the team we're going to see today on the Fitchburg sideline. How that matches up against the improved Leominster team that, yeah, has struggled, but look who they struggled against. 3 top playoff teams in the last 3 weeks that they've had to play out this season. Things have not gone well. It could be a preview for next year as far as the type of competition they're going to have to match up against. But a much improved Leominster team, even though the end of the season didn't wind down the way everybody had hoped based on their early season success. But I'm expecting a great matchup, and I am not expecting a blowout today.
I would agree with you 100%. As we turn to Kate Robbins, we welcome her back to Doyle Field and back to the broadcast as well on site. Kate, this is what the game looks like.
This is what a football field looks like?
At the facility, no longer at headquarters, and back here we are. And Kate, this is a series, obviously, that is steeped in history and tradition and has certainly had all sorts of winding roads to get us to this place historically. Leominster's got the most recent win in week 1. They also had a 32-0 win last year on Thanksgiving. A very different world. Fitchburg's last win was week 1 last year, 27-12. Their last Thanksgiving win, you got to go back to the 2017 112th Thanksgiving Day, 34-21 to get Fitchburg's last win on a Thanksgiving morning. And when they come to these two fields today, regardless of where we are, that is how we have to develop and see where generally this series progresses today.
And the thing that people need to remember, and most alumnus do remember this is a streaky game. What ends up happening from decade to decade, seemingly, you hear, oh, well, you know, Fitchburg can't keep up with Leominster, or Leominster can't keep up with Fitchburg. This game has been going on since 1894, and it's streaky. You had decades and a half in which Leominster doesn't win. You have decades and a half in which Fitchburg doesn't win. It goes back and forth and back and forth, and it's kind of the ebb and flow, the natural ebb and flow of the rivalry, and that's kind of how it undulates back and forth. One of the things that you have to remember is that it's more than just a single game. It's more than just a single decade. This thing has a mind and a cadence all on its own, and although it gets said almost ubiquitously every single year, nothing matters. Records go out the window. This is a game unto itself. It doesn't matter if you have had a terrible regular season. It does not matter if you have had a playoff caliber season. This is an animal all unto itself. Very different from anything else, and that's something that both of these teams have to make sure that they keep in mind, and it's something that both of these teams have to remember because both teams are out for blood in this one.
There is no question about it, Kate. Such an important point as well as when these two teams get together as well. Coming up, Kate and Billy will take you around the region. They will also have the marquee matchup on this Thanksgiving Thursday. Get you ready for that action. Any special guests that stop by will appear here as well. I'm going to take a trip down to the field, meet with both head coaches, and bring back our Inside the Headset segment in a matter of moments. But, Kate, we're going to toss it in your general direction, and you're going to take over with our trip around the region. There was a full slate last night, and then, of course, we've got all the Thanksgiving Day Classics ahead as well.
All right, let's take a look at the Thanksgiving Eve matchups. That's from last night, Wednesday, November the 23rd. In the Catholic Conference, St. John's took on Malden Catholic. St. John's, a victor. Interestingly enough, one of the few wins on their season. They had been 3-7 up to that point. A 56-20 victory for the Pioneers over Malden Catholic last night. In the Colonial League, North Middlesex a victor over my Assabet Valley Aztecs, 55-22. The final there. Well, one team out of Fitchburg had a big victory this week. That would be Monty Tech. 44-8 the final, Monty Tech over Neshoba Valley Tech last night. So one team in Fitchburg with a big W last night, of the Red Raiders of Fitchburg probably looking to get another W going today as well. Worcester Tech beats Abbey Kelly 26-6 the final there. St. Bernard's and St. Paul, they squared off in the Bishop's Cup last night at Assumption College in Worcester. St. Bernard's, the Bernardians, a victor in that matchup, 48-20, your final there. South High beats Worcester North, 48-16, the final in that matchup. Watertown, a victor over Belmont last night in the 100th meeting between Watertown and Belmont, 21-7, your final there. Of course, that's Todd's stomping grounds for work. That game, that 100th meeting, Bill Thomas, played at Fenway Park in Boston.
I saw that. Nice touch for those two teams. They get a little extra bounce in their step to be on that great venue there, playing in that great venue at Fenway Park. You know, we had such a great time at Polar Park. You know, it's just Polar Park on steroids once you get to go to Fenway.
Not too shabby at all. All right, let's take a look at today's slate. Let's whip around the region for our Thursday matchups. Oxford will be heading to Bay Path today for a 10 a.m. kick. Valley Tech is at Nipmuc to face off against the Warriors, Bill Thomas. That's a 10 a.m. kickoff.
Not having a very good season.
It's all right, but it doesn't matter.
Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving, that's right. Sutton heads to Blackstone, Millville, Hopedale today. That's a 10 a.m. kick as well. Burncoat will be at Doherty, 10 a.m. kickoff. That one's at Foley Stadium in Worcester. In the Midwatch, 10 a.m. kickoff, Westboro against Algonquin today. Wachusett will be heading to Shrewsbury for a 10 a.m. kick there. Hudson will be facing off against Marlboro. Neshoba is at Clinton. Groton Dunstable is at Tingsboro. West Boylston will be playing Maynard. It says a 6 p.m. kickoff there, but I highly doubt that. 6 p.m.
That's an odd time for a Thanksgiving Day game,
yeah.
But I think everybody's going to be sleeping off that tryptophan by then.
Yeah.
But West Boylston, I don't care. I think they care when the game's played. They got another game next Friday. They're in that Super, I think it's D7 maybe.
D7.
Against St. Bernard. So,
3 p.m. Friday, baby.
Both of those teams, St. Bernard's is going in on a roll, I believe, at 11-1. And now West Boylston, I don't know if they've lost the game. But that should be a great matchup.
10-1, West Boylston
so
Lions.
It's going to be a great matchup, that D7. That's a Central Mass only Super Bowl.
That's why they got the 3 p.m.
They got the worst game, the first game of the 8 on Friday afternoon. But at least two. It's unfortunate that two representatives from the same division, but hey, we're going to have a Central Mass Super Bowl champion no matter how you cut it.
But there's nothing more that says the MIAA is Eastern Mass centric when the Central Mass game gets the first time slot when everybody's still in school.
Exactly. And parents are working or whatever, just make it a little more difficult. I'm sure they'll find a way to get you to that because it could be a once in a lifetime opportunity. But congratulations to those two schools, and I'm sure it's going to be a great matchup. 2 11-1 teams.
You're absolutely right. Lunenburg heads to Oakmont this morning. Littleton is at Air Shirley. Quabbin heads to Gardner today. Murdoch will be at Narragansett. Tantascwa is at Shepherd Hill. Hey, Bill Thomas, I don't know if you know, but Fitchburg heads to Leominster today for a 10 a.m. kickoff.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this a new game?
New
New
game.
they scheduled?
New rivalry.
Didn't they already play this year? Is this new on the schedule?
They did.
Looking forward to it.
Leicester heads to Auburn this morning. Bartlett will be at Southbridge. That is listed as an 11 a.m. kickoff on the Telegram. 11-0 Grafton, who will also be playing for a Super Bowl next week at Gillette Stadium, will be heading to 9-1 Millbury this morning. So that's quite the matchup in the Swickle this morning.
And if you look at the math, I think that's the third Central Mass team that's playing out of the 16 teams in the Super Bowls. That's the third representative.
Those Gators.
From Central. Hey, they've
Gators.
had a great couple of years, too. They've had a great round. I don't think they got about a 20-game win streak or something like that.
Yeah, they're
going.
pretty darn good.
Yeah, they're playing. They got some talent.
They're pretty darn good. Northbridge heads to Uxbridge, and Quabog will be in Ware. And that is our whip around the region for this Thanksgiving here in Central Massachusetts. Bill Thomas, special day, obviously, incredibly special as an alumnus for both Todd and I. But obviously, you have been adopted into this rivalry, a long-time adoptee. We've taken you in, and we have just such a scenic, such a phenomenal thing, especially considering, look at the normalcy post-pandemic. Things really are starting to settle back in for this rivalry. We had just a few short years ago, one of the first times since the 1920s where this rivalry was not able to play in a calendar year in 2020. A little bit of normalcy back. I'm kind of liking it.
It feels like it. It's got that festive fall feeling that we've come to love at this time of year.
Yeah.
I mean, one year I was helping shovel 2 feet of snow off the field here, and the game was played on a Saturday. And, thank God we don't have weather impacting the game today. It's I like to call this Chamber of Commerce weather. For this type of time in November, you couldn't ask for a better day. Hovering around 30, 35 degrees, not a cloud in the sky.
Gorgeous.
I mean, this is a great venue, a great setting, a great day for what we anticipate to be a great football game between two great teams. And it's easy to throw around that word great, but I think the greatness rises to that level when these two teams meet. And one team could be 8-0, 10-0, 11-0, and the other team could be 0 and whatever. But we've seen it all get thrown out the window when it comes to this game. The rivalry speaks for itself.
No, it certainly does. And as you said, understandably, the tradition has changed a little bit. Are we getting 9,000, 10,000 people coming to this game? No, we're not. There are things that go on. We have more than 3 channels on the television now.
Well, that's
people,
it. There's so much
there's
out, so many opportunities.
Correct.
Well, we love to see the fans in the stands, and I'm sure we're going to see upwards of between 1,000 and 2,000 people here today. We know the home side is going to be filled. There's a lot of seniors on this team that want to go out and with on a great note and great support. I mean, the team has been supported through the ups and downs years we've seen the last half dozen years or so, and but they always come out on Thanksgiving. The fans are the fans. They know that this game stands alone. Irregardless of what's happened during the regular season, and they support both teams in that respect.
And one of the things that I want to make sure that we make mention of, there's going to be thousands of people here. And again, I understand we're not harking back. I was watching the 1936 game. Thank you, Jack Selly and Permaselli Productions.
Films, huh?
Getting to watch the Mud Bowl, the 1936 film from the Elio Torcoletti collection. Seeing just masses of people, just masses of people, incredibly impressive. One of the things, however, that I adore about this rivalry now here in contemporary society is we get check-ins from China, from Australia, from California. We have people that are able to participate, even somebody who may be, elderly and bedridden. They have an opportunity to be able to connect with this game because we're in a contemporary society. So I understand it might not be exactly the same. You're not going to get 10,000 people here, but we have so many connections throughout the globe in this game and so many people checking in. It's such a blessing to know we're able to connect with so many people and so many people are interested in this matchup and will forever be excited about this matchup here.
Absolutely, Kate. And you know, the fact that maybe we might not have 10,000 people here today for this game doesn't mean that there aren't 10,000 people interested in this game around the country, even around the world. Alumni and relatives and friends, and we got a taste of that last night. We were at the pre-football Thanksgiving football game banquet, and guest speaker Pat Gallagher. And he touched on it a little bit to the players. You never know who's listening. There's the Noah Grays out there. There's the Garrett Delicky eyes that came before you. They keep in touch with this game, too. And they might not be at the game. They might not even be in Leominster. Noah Gray's playing a football game somewhere this weekend that means a lot more to him. Maybe,
you know he's checking
but
in,
you know he's checking into this game, and he's listening. And that's what this game means to people around the country and around the world that have been touched by this rivalry. You know, I'm new to it, but I still have a feeling for it.
No, you're absolutely right about that. All right, let's take a look now at our marquee matchup for this particular week. Understandably, Leominster with a decisive victory in week 1. It was also the debut of the freshman dynamic duo. For those people that are unfamiliar with this particular matchup, Leominster all season long has had a starting quarterback, starting running back combination. Caden Drinkwater being the wide receiver, Osiris Lopez being the starting quarterback for Leominster, both of whom, and I'm going to say, are true freshmen. Yeah, they're 14 years old, and they're coming in here and they're running this offense.
I think one of them might have turned 15 during the season. I think Osiris turned 15. We were actually joking about that after one of the games. But, yeah, you talk about a couple of young, untested players at this level just bursting upon the scene. And I'm sure Fitchburg didn't expect to see something like that, an offensive output from two untested freshmen, but they got a quick taste of what the rest of the league had to deal with throughout the season.
You're certainly right. So, marquee matchup for today. Which version of each team shows up for this game? The disjointed Fitchburg team of week 1, remembering back on multiple occasions during that week 1 matchup, Fitchburg was struggling to put even just enough personnel out on the field on any given play. They had multiple times in which they got flagged for not even having 11 men on the field. So quite disjointed week 1 jitters, week 1 cobwebs for Fitchburg. Or the LHS team that bared down and won on an untimed down against Tantascwa versus the explosive LHS Week 7 versus Wachusett, or the uninspired flat LHS from Week 10 in Taunton. So essentially, both of these teams have the ability to be Jekyll and Hyde. Fitchburg is on a 4-game winning streak right now. Leominster only remembers them as the disjointed Week 1 team. Leominster came out guns blazing in Week 1 against Fitchburg, and then around, that 3 quarters to the end of the season, they showed that they have some vulnerability there. This game, what version of them shows up is going to be very important because this one is for the taking.
Yeah, and you're right, Kate. We're not really sure what team. I think we're fairly certain what we're going to get out of Leominster today. I expect them to throw the ball often and early, deep early. Try to put immediate pressure on the Fitchburg defense, much like they did in the first game.
Yeah.
Not that they're going to be as successful because they can't sneak up on people like they did Fitchburg that first game. But I'm really interested to see how the Fitchburg's offense has matured as the season's progressed
under Lucas Bolak.
And they have. They have struggled at times against Leominster. I think in the last half dozen meetings they've only scored more than 2 touchdowns in one of the meetings. That was a win a couple of years ago. But they struggled to put points on the board in this game year in and year out for the last half dozen years. And we'll have to see what Fitchburg's offense. I think that's going to be the key to the game. We know Leominster's going to score. It's just a matter, is this going to be who has the ball last, or is Fitchburg going to throw up some defense and give their offense a chance, maybe play some field position game, and let's see what the Fitchburg offense is going to bring to the field today.
Interestingly enough, most weeks, our marquee matchup has to do with something that is a physical or game plan type situation. A lot of times we talk about that game between the trenches. You have this situation in which line play is so important week in and week out. This week, very much, this marquee matchup is solely effort, emotion, and do your job.
And coaching. Let's put the coaches out there, too. I think coaching's, especially when two teams that seem to have kind of equalized over the course of the season, I think the coaching and who puts their team in the best position with their play calling, either offensively or defensively. We know both teams got some parts and pieces. They get moved around by the coaches. Ultimately, it's about the coaches making the right decisions, whether it's on offense or defense. And I'll put them out there today. Let's put the game on the coaches. The kids have played all year. Let the coaches step up now and help the kids be as successful as they can today. Now,
interestingly, you also bring a great point. Is this a situation where, because game plan get a little cutesy, is Leominster going to get a little too cutesy for my liking? This is a business trip in my estimation. This is a situation in which you need to make sure that you take care of business. You got to put on your business suit of emotions. You got to stomp on this field. You got to bring your briefcase, and you got to get business done. I get worried about people getting too cute or overthinking the game plan.
Oh, absolutely. And, and the fact that maybe your head might get a little too swelled, going into this pregame. Don't get cute. We know Leominster doesn't have to get cute. They don't need trick plays. But, when you look at maybe being a little overconfident, if either team might be a little overconfident based on the success of the season and what we've seen this week with some awards that were handed out. Leominster garnered some awards this week from the Telegram. The
Mr.
Player
Excitement
of the Year,
did well.
right? Ricky, MVP of the league, and a defensive MVP. We'll go through the names. We heard them last night, and a great testament to the season that they've had. But I'm sure Fitchburg heard some of that. What came out this week too about all the accolades Leominster was getting, and they want to put a little stop to that talk, I would say, and today's a good time to do it.
I think you're right. Quick update for Sonny Levine back at Master Control at WLPZ 95.1 in Leominster. He asked me to also include Lexington's football team. Concord Carlisle football will be arriving in Lexington for a 10 a.m. kick. Their senior day ceremony start at 9:15, Sonny. I'll make sure I keep that updated in our Around the Region as well for you. So it's not just Central Mass, Kate. Start bringing in the Eastern Mass stuff, too.
Oh, yeah. We're not the only game on Thanksgiving, and, our reach is wide-ranging. So, anybody got a game they want us to talk about, we'll do some research. Chime in with us on Facebook or text one of us, and we'll do our best.
Well, you're absolutely right. Make sure that you are checking in around the globe, no matter what, on Facebook, on Twitter. We'll get those messages. We'll give the shout-outs. We love making sure that we're connecting with the community. It's all fun and games because we're sitting pretty here at the 50-yard line up in the press box, and we've got the best view in the world.
And I tell you, I brag about this venue every chance I get, being able to broadcast from historic Doyle Fields. It's got to be one of the best opportunities a broadcaster can have. And, we're not just homers. We travel, and we see what other teams have, what they present for their own home team fans, and what they offer up for visiting, media and delegations. And, all I can say is we're blessed.
Oh, you can say that again.
And anybody that visits this field is blessed as a visiting team and or media personality. They even have their own booth. And not many venues can say that.
No, you're absolutely right about that. Did we have Todd?
He came in, he popped in, dropped off. Maybe he left that for you to work with. But
I highly doubt it.
I think he's out doing a little socializing like he does. We got plenty of time leading up to the game. We got about 21 plus minutes till kickoff. So, Todd's making the rounds.
One of the things we need to make sure that we mention as well, at the Breakfast with the Bands over the weekend, Leominster's marching band debuts a brand new uniform, and I'm seeing those around here as well. A few of them. Great job. Had to fundraise for years in order to make sure. I mean, these things are not just like put on a t-shirt and go. These are elaborate pieces of clothing. So Leominster debuting brand new uniforms. Fitchburg's uniforms phenomenal as well. Breakfast with the Bands was a smash hit. We had the little guy, so we were not able to go this year. That just would have been like way too much stimulation for my 3-month-old.
Sensory overload.
He would have been just like, Mom, what is this?
I will say they do a lot of fundraising. It's it's a great goal that they've achieved. But when you hear at Historic Doyle Field, visit the snack bar. That supports the band. The food that you buy there and drinks, and make a small donation. All goes directly towards supporting the band.
Yes. We're getting messages in on Facebook, so that's fantastic. Keep those coming as well. So according to Mike Griffin and the clock that we have just about 20 minutes until this bad boy kicks off. We still don't have Todd. He's still mulling about.
I got to go get some sunscreen, Kate.
I was actually having the same thought. I was like, oh, my alabaster skin might have a problem here.
You've spent way too much time in the house the last 3 months. So, yeah, it probably could be affecting you a little more, but it's just a spectacular day here today.
One of the great things, taking a look up on the Doyle Field side, the hill going up to the upper field. Talk about the morning here, where the sun has reached. Beautiful green, dew-covered grass. Where the sun has not, all frost.
Yeah,
all
dull
frost.
And yeah,
all frost.
Wintry looking, but just a great setting and a quick temperature check. I think it's about 35, but I tell you, it feels like it's 65 today. And, I'm sure that the entire atmosphere today just has to make the players feel better in general about going out, especially the seniors. A lot of the seniors be the last time they play at this type of level. They might get involved in some flag or some, semi-pro, but nothing matches what this game means to these players, and to have it being played under perfect conditions, I think you couldn't ask for anything more.
No, you absolutely could not. So just the moment of excitement. I just can't. This is my Christmas morning. This is when we wake up.
It's their first game back. It's kind of like me in 2017 when I was injured all year. But somehow I was able to fight back, and my first game back that year was Thanksgiving, and I absolutely loved it. And I can imagine actually how you feel, Kate. But enjoy it as much as you can, because that smile on the face says it all.
It is. We are going to get started with our Inside the Headset. So Todd went down moments ago. He talked to both coaching staffs down on the field. He went inside the headset. Who do we hear from first? Are we hearing from Coach Greg Graham, or are we hearing from Coach Devin Gates?
It's Coach Greg Graham first, Kate, and a little colorful language in there as well. We're gonna clean that up.
He's excited
as well.
You're excited when.
Stand by for that. Down on the field on this Thanksgiving morning and inside the headset with Fitchburg head coach Greg Graham. And Coach, it's another Thanksgiving morning. Here we all are together as seemingly the reunion begins on this Thursday morning, and in just a short while a football game will break out.
Yeah, hey, happy Thanksgiving. Fucking excited to be here. Couldn't be more excited. Can't wait to get it on.
Certainly can understand that. It'll be an exciting day ahead for both Red Raiders and Blue Devils, and we're looking forward to that. Coach, you've had these last kind of opportunities to see how your team has progressed to this point. And, of course, this is the culmination of that, the culmination of weeks upon weeks upon weeks of work, and they're going to get turned loose here in just a little while.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait to turn them loose. Can't wait to see what they go out there and do. Like, obviously, they've been working hard. They put the time in. Like, the table's been set. Like, they just got to go out and play football. Go out and have fun playing football. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about right now.
And this is a game where streaks and runs can be such an important part of the game. Maybe getting a first score or a first turnover or a moment that starts this team as we head toward kickoff.
Hey, one thing I'm telling my guys is, hey, we got to get it done early. You know what I mean? So on both sides of the ball, our first drive is our key drive. I think it's very important. You know what I mean? Their first drive when we're on defense, we think that's the most important drive. If we can set the tone there and kind of, put them in a situation where they kind of are surprised or feel like, they're better than we thought or whatever it may be, that's what we're looking to do.
And that is where the fun will commence, Coach. And the X's and O's here, as you're looking to kind of scheme up where you're going to go in this contest. Of course, you've got a team over on the Leominster side of things that's going to look to go vertical down the field. They're going to look to put it on the ground. They're going to try to make you cover a lot of their weapons. From a defensive standpoint, you're going to face choices as to which weapons you're going to try to cover or make your best attempt to cover them all defensively as you scheme up with your team today. What's the key to slowing down this Leominster team?
I mean, well, we all know that they like to throw the ball. I mean, they got some good kids on the outside. They have a good young quarterback. So, just mixing up the coverage, you know what I mean? Giving him a look before the snap and then him seeing something different as he goes through his progression, So we're just trying to, and make sure we bring pressure, you know what I mean? We feel like if we can, get in the backfield and put some hits on number 9, especially early, we like our chances to kind of slow down their momentum and slow down their charge. So, that's it. We just got to get after them. That's all we got. We just got to be tougher than they are.
Season certainly would bear that out, Coach. In a couple of minutes, you're going to go back up the tunnel. You're going to get to meet with your team one final time before they come out for the kickoff of a 2022 campaign and of this Thanksgiving Day game. What will be your last message to this team as you guys get ready to walk out on the field?
Last thing I'm going to tell my kids is make sure you stick together, play for the guy next to you. It can't get any more important than that. I mean, these guys been through a lot this year. We've dealt with a lot of adversity, a lot of people quitting on them, doubting them, you know what I mean? And they've rose to the occasion the last couple of weeks, so we just want to make sure that carries over. So the number one thing is, hey, stick together, play for the guy next to you, and play, as selfless football as you possibly can. We do that, I like our chances.
All right, Coach, best of luck.
Thank you. Have a good Thanksgiving.
And across the field, we continue inside the headset now with Leominster High School head coach Devin Gates. And, Coach, the 142nd meeting of these two storied programs kicks off in just a matter of a few moments. And this is that moment, the culmination. The season ends here. This is one of those things that I thought you summed it up really well at last night's get-together. And you said that you spent a lot of time in your life chasing the feeling that these players are going to experience today.
Yeah, it's really a game like none other. It's a season in itself. I thought Pat Gallagher really summed up everything really, really well too when he spoke last night about, just taking in everything, is heightened. Just the smell of the air, the everything waking up in the morning. It really is just a special feeling. Just a special feeling that these kids are probably not going to have again. If they do find it, they're going to be the happiest kids ever someplace else. But for me, I couldn't find this feeling they had on Thanksgiving mornings. The years that I played, I haven't been able to find that anyplace else in my life.
And thus you are back here with your team, and this is that final time for this group to come together, and they face a great challenge across the field from them in a Fitchburg football team that, sure, week 1 they put 48 points up on, but that was 10 weeks ago, and it wasn't Thanksgiving morning. This is now Thanksgiving morning, and it is 10 weeks later, and everybody has grown over a 10-week period, and it's going to be, once the game happens, everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, exactly, and they're coming off of a good stretch here at the end of the season. 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5, whatever it was. They've really come along and put some stuff together. So we're not taking this game lightly. This is Thanksgiving morning. Anything can happen. There's no records here. There shouldn't be any favorites. It's a complete neutral battleground. For the most part. And we got to play our best football to win this football game. And I think that's something that we want to do. I think we have a lot to prove in terms of how we finish the season and losing 2 games to come out and execute the way that we're capable of. And that's what we talked about all week long.
And that opportunity will befit your team coming up in a few moments. X's and O's wise, Coach, of course, this is an opportunity to, maybe throw a wrinkle in here or there, but also stay disciplined with the things that obviously you guys have done well all season long. So whether it's defensively getting after the ball and having a really great game plan to shut down the other team, or whether it's offensively diversifying and making people cover a lot of weapons.
Yeah, I mean, we got to stick to what got us here, in the first place. That's been, a balanced offense and a really solid, fundamentally strong defense. I think you may see a couple of wrinkles. I mean, there's stuff that we've practiced all year long that we haven't got a chance to run. And if the situation presents itself, we might try to, do a little wrinkle that maybe nobody's seen so far from us. And but if the situation doesn't call for it, then we're not gonna run it. We're not gonna run something just to run something. That's not what we're gonna do. We're going to do what we think is best to win the football game.
Thanksgiving morning for both schools is not the day to leave anything in the playbook. In a few moments, Coach, you're going to go back up that tunnel and you're going to get a chance to address this team one more time before a kickoff of a football game to close out this 128th campaign. What will be your final message to this team?
It's so tough. This is such a special group. And I mean, every group is special, but when you get a group like this, and for me, it's these guys I've had. This is the first class I've seen through from freshman to senior year, and so they hold a special place in my heart just for being that class. Not to mention how great of kids they are in football players and students as well. But it's really going to be just to enjoy this last time out playing football together. Go out there and cliche land, leave everything out there. But I want them to play for each other. This team is really, really, really tight. It really does feel like more of a family than any other team I've ever coached. And I just want them to go enjoy being with each other one more morning here playing football.
Top of the hour, the historic 142nd meeting, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic for Leominster and Fitchburg. Coach, what's your key to victory?
We got to control the ball. I think, finish drives when we have them, run the football, pass the football well, finish drives, and not let them get any momentum going. Because that's the thing, as we saw last year with some of those fumbled kickoffs or the kickoff returns that we recovered, 3 in a row. That was a huge momentum shift for us, and we feel like we couldn't do any wrong after that. So if we let that happen to us this time around, they're going to feel the same way. So we got to make sure that we play sound football, control the ball, control the game, and I think we'll be okay.
All right, Coach, best of luck.
All right, thank you, Todd.
That's our trip inside the headset down for this 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg. If I hit the right button, we'd be in great shape.
You're an absolute rookie.
Thus far, I know. First time for everything, as the case may be. But those are the thoughts of both men who will lead these two storied programs into today's contest. Fitchburg head coach Greg Graham, Leominster head coach Devin Gates, as we get ready for kickoff. 14 minutes to the top of the hour, and we've got Leominster and Fitchburg for you. We're going to take this opportunity to reset everything on our end and welcome in a new audience as well when we continue. You're listening to the Countdown to Kickoff right here on RFM Audio.
Tradition, legacy, history. These words all describe a player, coach, or contributor's impact on a game, program, or generation. Each week this season, student athletes of this generation will square off with the goal of best representing their community today or for years to come.
Neil O'Connor finds Jake Elaine.
Alan Glennie quarterbacks his ball club.
Delakiai's in the end zone.
And calling signals, Dave Palazzi.
John Ulecki.
Warren Muir.
LeQueer.
Jack Rodequins.
Bobby Mativier.
Jason Toomley.
Devin Gates.
Quentin Tiggs.
Cortez Ludden.
D. Geronimo.
Stephanides.
Sean Duquesne. McDonald.
Graham.
Quentin Perkins. Geraldo Rivera.
Gray makes the catch in the end zone for the touchdown.
Who will have their name weaved among the tapestry of legends? Who can add their name among the football greatest in Central Massachusetts? You'll find out right here on RFM. Continuing a legacy and tradition of audio excellence established by generations of great play-by-play teams gone before.
Yours truly, Tom Connery, Dave Spence, and Warren Muir.
This is Joe White. With me this morning is Dickie and Ron Lamar.
Ed Coleman along with Joe DeCarolis and Mark Landon.
This is Dave Clark along with Mike Flynn.
I'm Dave Spence along with my partner Luke Connery.
Todd Robbins alongside Ben Parker.
Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us.
Stories told through the words spun by legends. The stories continue to be described by the award-winning team of today. It's time for high school football with the award-winning team of Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, and Kate Robbins.
From historic Doyle Field in Leominster, we welcome you to the 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic here on RFM Audio, and we welcome our audience joining us today on Leominster TV. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to historic Doyle Field. Leominster and Fitchburg ready to do battle on the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic, and it's great to have you along with us, whether you're joining us on Verizon, Channel 32, Comcast 9, or streaming at Leominster.tv the world over. As Kate likes to say each and every year, hey, shout it out, put it out on social media. Kate's following along. The high school class reunion of these two Twin Cities begins with this broadcast each and every year, and we'll drop those in as we proceed throughout the morning. We welcome those of you joining us on RFM, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch. We welcome those of you joining us for the first time on a Thanksgiving morning on 95.1 FM, WLPZ, and WLPZ.org. And we welcome those of you joining us on Leominster TV. Wherever you are and however you choose to participate, it is great to have you along with us as this tradition continues in these communities. Going to be an exciting football game coming up. Leominster is 7-3 overall record. Fitchburg 4-6 overall record. All-time records. Leominster owns the all-time advantage in this series. 70 wins, 61 losses, and 10 ties in the previous 141 meetings between these two schools. A Leominster win today would be the 800th in program history, per the Worcester Telegram's Dean of the Sports Department, Bill Ballou. So we will keep an eye on that as the day continues as well.
The first game is disputed.
I was going to go right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
But so it begins.
But wasn't Bill at that first game? And I think Dick was PAing it. So
that's what he said this morning. The voices you hear, Todd Robbins, great to be with you once again. Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins alongside, and great to have you all with us here at the press box here at Doyle Field as we get you ready for Leominster and Fitchburg. About 10 minutes to kick off. We'll get you the starting lineups coming up in a matter of moments, but no Thanksgiving morning would be complete in my broadcast tenure, going all the way back to 1999 when I was a high school freshman and called my first Thanksgiving Day, sharing a window with Dick Tucker at the time in the old layout of historic Doyle Field. Then my first analyst, who was down on the field at the time, he was the man working the chains. He was the captain of the chain gang. That is the LHS poet, Bob Cross. He has already called in this morning to say Happy Thanksgiving. We return that back to you, Bob. Happy Thanksgiving to you from Bill, Kate, and myself. And no Thanksgiving broadcast begins without the words of the LHS poets. This one from circa 2015.
Thanksgiving Day High School Football Classic between Leominster High School Blue Devils and the Fitchburg High School Red Raiders always creates a special kind of magic in the air. And for either team to lose is always so unfair. It is war. It is love. It is football tradition at its very, very best. With 100% effort from each player, you will witness nothing less. It is the bonding of two communities into one for a worthwhile cause. So when we stand in front of Old Glory on Thanksgiving morning, let us pause and thank the good Lord for letting us be part of this most festive occasion. For anyone who participates will forever be thankful, and everyone who attends the game will forever be grateful. It is the greatest rivalry in the entire land, so proud we all should stand. Let us also salute both teams' cheerleaders and bands, for they too work very hard and lend a big hand in making this the best rivalry in the land. Now, a hard-fought game it is certain to be, and some will even fall. So let me at this special time wish good luck to all, as the referee blows his whistle and the kicker kicks the ball. So don't you miss a tackle, block, kick, pass, or run. Buy a Turkey Day ticket and enjoy the fun. Now good luck and God bless everyone in the future, and a happy Thanksgiving to all from the LHS poet. The Leominster High School Blue Devils will win. I just know it.
And that's the Leominster High School poet, Bob Cross, circa 2015. Bob, hope you're enjoying the broadcast today from home. Enjoy this one today. Have a great Thanksgiving. Great to have you with us as always. Time now for the starting lineups for these two communities, Leominster and Fitchburg. Let's meet first the defense for these Fitchburg High School Red Raiders, introduced by their head coach, Greg Graham.
This is head coach Greg Graham, and this is my Red Raider defense. Defensive end number 5, junior Devani De Leon. Defensive end number 71, sophomore Ephraim Nepo. Defensive nose guard number 75, junior J.J. Casillas. At linebacker, number 21, senior Antonio Santiago. Number 22, junior Raul Luzardo. Number 4, senior Harvey Early Jr. Number 8, a senior Joniel Silvestri. A defensive back, number 15, senior Dorian Wells. Number 6, senior Stephen Bate. Number 14, senior Josh Nardi. And number 3, senior Josh Medina.
And Coach Graham's defense will look across the line at this Leominster High School starting offense introduced in their own voices.
Cyrus Lopez, number 9, freshman, quarterback.
Makai Newton, number 2, senior, running back, captain.
Rick Encarnacion, 0, senior, receiver.
Brian Aguilar, number 1, senior, wide receiver.
Caden Drinkwater, number 8, freshman, wide receiver.
Joshua Cormier, 44, senior, H-back.
Logan Arcee, number 54, senior, left tackle.
Delmar Wright, number 52, senior, offensive line.
John Escabi, 56, senior, center, captain.
Corin Sullivan, number 73, senior, offensive guard.
Tony Kendall, number 69, junior, offensive tackle.
And that's Leominster's starting offense for this 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg. Now let's flip sides of the football. Let's meet the Fitchburg High School offense as introduced by head coach Greg Graham.
This is head coach Greg Graham, and this is my Red Raider offense. At left tackle, 79, senior Hayden Paul. Left guard, number 58, junior Melvin De Leon. At center, number 70, senior Manny Encarnacion. At right guard, 59, sophomore here, Nate Hankins. Right tackle, 75, junior JJ Casillas. At tight end, 14, senior Josh Nardi. At wide receiver, number 3, senior Josh Medina. Number 15, senior Dorian Wells. At fullback, number 5, junior Devani De Leon. At tailback, number 25, junior Eli Gonzalez. And at quarterback, number 11, junior Lucas Bolak.
And that is the Fitchburg High School starting offense introduced by Coach Greg Graham. And now the Leominster High School starting defense as the captains head to midfield for the coin toss. Bill Thomas is all over it. He'll have the coin toss update in a moment.
John Escabi, 56, senior, D-end, captain.
Giovanni Roman, 55, senior, defensive line.
Logan Arcee, number 54, senior, D-tackle.
Delmar Wright, number 52, senior, defensive line.
Makai Newton, number 2, senior, linebacker, captain.
Xavier Cora, number 5, sophomore, linebacker.
Joshua Cormier, 44, senior, linebacker.
Brian Aguilar, number 1, senior, cornerback.
Steven Diaz, 11, senior, cornerback. Jared Viola, number 3, senior, safety.
Rick Encarnacion, 0, senior, safety.
And that is the Leominster High School starting defense in their own voices. And that is the team's starting lineups for this 142nd edition of these two schools. Bill Thomas, you had the coin toss. What do you got?
Fitchburg has won the coin toss. They have deferred to the second half. Leominster will be receiving the opening kickoff to this Thanksgiving Classic, and they will be defending the end zone to our right.
Indeed, they will. Two bands have taken positions out on the field. The Fitchburg High School marching Red Raiders right alongside and shoulder to shoulder to the marching Blue Devils of Leominster High School wearing their brand new, literally, they still have the new uniform smell right out of the package, Bill Thomas, making their first appearance out on the fields today. A black, white, and royal blue ensemble. The tall band hats that go with it in a black and royal blue kind of swoosh that they've got going across the front. It's a great look, shoulder to shoulder with the Red Raiders in their brick red, black, and gray. And then they've got the silver helmets with that flourish that goes up over the top as well.
I tell you, the bands look fantastic together, and this is a special moment that you don't get to see very often, but one we really cherish.
Indeed, and with that, we have the national anthem presented together by both schools' marching bands and then kickoff. The 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic right here on RFM and with our partners, Leominster TV, WLPZ, and 95.1 FM WLPZ. National anthem time. And with that, we are ready for football here at historic Doyle Field. Leominster and Fitchburg for the 142nd time on this 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic. The Leominster stands are packed from end to end. The walkways filled as well. Hills on both sides of Doyle Field starting to fill in as well. On the Red Raiders side, crowd continues to stream in through their gate and continues to fill up and populate the stands on the sideline opposite our broadcast location. Time for the game time forecast and weather conditions. It is 36 degrees on this Thanksgiving Thursday, November the 24th. Feels like 43 thanks to some great sunshine. It's going to be a clear, perfect day for football. Bill Thomas, we're ready for the play-by-play.
And you are listening to The Classic from RFM Audio on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. It's time for our signature play-by-play. Now, with the call of the game, the voice of the rivalry, Todd Robbins.
All right, Bill Thomas, the ball's on the tee, 40-yard line at our left. Ephraim Nepo tees the ball up, and he will be kicking from left to right. And away he goes, and the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic is underway. Over the shoulder of Ricky Encarnacion, fields it on the one hop at the 4-yard line. Now turns his way back upfield, coming right to left. 15, 20, 25, wrapped and taken down shy of the 30 at the 27-yard line, and that's where Leominster will set up shop. First down and 10 at their own 27, going right to left. A return of about 22 yards for Ricky Encarnacion.
Good job by Ricky there. Ball was over his head. Misjudged it a little bit. Got a nice bounce, though. Got turned around for the coverage team. Got down there on him. Turned it into a pretty good return.
First down and 10 for the Blue Devils. Their own 28-yard line coming right to left. Their freshman signal caller, Osiris Lopez. Shotgun set, trips to the wide side right. And the first down snap and the give is to Mackay Newton. Newton slides through, turns the corner at the left edge, crosses the 30 and tiptoes out of bounds around the 33-yard line. Give him a gain of 2, maybe 3. Now they're still walking. They move the ball all the way up to the 35-yard line. Gain of 6, second down and 4.
Nice tightrope job by Mackay over here on the near sideline. Got all he could out of that before he lost his balance out of bounds, but nice first play there. I tell you, this sets up a great passing down right out of the chute.
And it's a two-back set in the backfield. Lopez with Encarnacion and Newton. 3 receivers out in the formation. The snap, play action, fake. It's a keep for Lopez. He'll take it out to the left edge, cross the 40 and down to the 44-yard line. It's a gain of 9, and it's a Leominster first down on an Osiris Lopez. Little play action fake and then slide on the left edge.
Yeah, giving the Fitchburg defense a little different look. We haven't seen that often, although we know Osiris likes to call his own number. But good job right there. Just, I think, trying to get the Fitchburg defense off balance. I'm sure they're expecting Leominster offense to come out firing in a couple of running plays here to start the game.
Lopez, a true dual-threat quarterback, just like Tony Savatelli said he was as well.
First down and 10 for Leominster. Their own 44 going right to left. Encarnacion, the motion man, and whistles and flags kill the play from the far sideline, and we get to see our first signal from the crew chief, Bill Goslin. And the signal is for a false start against Leominster, a 5-yard penalty. Move the ball back across the Leominster 40 to the 39-yard line, and it's 1st and 15.
That was such a great way to start the season first-time football player, senior Tony Savatelli of baseball fame here in Leominster, tells me during introductions, Kate, I'm a dual threat quarterback. I said, Tony, I'm not writing that down.
No, but he's a dual threat in 2 sports. Osiris is dual threat in the same sport, but they're both dual threats.
1st and 15, and Encarnacion out of the gun gets the handoff from Lopez. He races it out to the right edge, crosses the 40, and is taken down shy of the 45 at around the 43-yard line. Gains back almost what was lost on the original flag.
And Bill Thomas, interestingly enough here, most people thought Leominster would come out, spread the field, and go vertical right away. Right now, they have 3 different backs already. If you include Osiris coming out with a quarterback keeper, they're playing the ground game early, likely not what Fitchburg was expecting in the first offensive drive.
Yeah, exactly right, Kate, catching Fitchburg. Trying to catch him sleeping, but nice defensive stop there after a 5-yard gain. But I don't think Fitchburg's at all surprised. They're covering nicely.
2nd and 9 from their own 45. Shotgun set. Lopez back to pass for the first time. Swings the screen out to the left and complete for Caden Drinkwater across midfield and down at the 48-yard line.
Joshua Nolly out there. Nice one-on-one tackle from his cornerback position. Watching Drinkwater swinging out there, getting a little pass in the flat, but good job after about a 6-yard gain right there. Brings up a 3rd and short.
3rd down and 3 to go. Leominster needs the Red Raider 46-yard line for a first down.
I like the way they've pieced this series back together. 5 and 5, looking for another 5 here.
Red Raiders had a 12th man on the field, and now flags and whistles kill the play. And racing to the sideline was J.J. Casillas, the defensive tackle. He was a 12th man on the field and raced off, got off just in time. Meanwhile, Leominster flinches, and it becomes a 5-yard penalty. It'll be 3rd down and longer.
Yeah, Leominster's offense unable to take advantage of that situation. Couldn't get set quick enough. Fitchburg player did get off the field in time. Irregardless, there was a little bit of movement there by
He
the
was
Leominster
hustling
front.
so bad. He made it all the way to the bench.
Like a track star, he broke the tape crossing the sideline.
That was a train that wasn't stopping, and everybody got out
And
of
I'm
his
sure
way.
the players have been told, don't slow down when you get near the sideline. That's when you're going to get flagged. Get off the field. Cross the line.
3rd down and 8. Ball at their own 46-yard line, needing the Red Raider 46. Back to pass on 3rd down. Lopez hits the back foot, looks left, finds Drinkwater into the boundary. Complete across midfield and out of bounds at the 47-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and it will leave a 4th down and about a yard to go. And Coach Devin Gates will face an early decision around midfield.
More like 4th. They're giving him short, a little bit shorter on the yardage there as far as what they gave him on that gain. It's going to be 4th and about 2, Todd. And yeah, I think Drinkwater lost the track where he was. He turned that out into the out of bounds. He might have turned that in for a couple extra yards. Going for it on 4th down.
And Leominster goes snowplow right, and a snap for Encarnacion. He gets behind the block, crosses midfield, and reaches up toward the 45-yard line, and he has enough for a Leominster first down, and this opening drive of the football game continues.
That was close, but he got that right foot spot, Todd.
Gamesmanship is afoot, however. Fitchburg's band has not stopped playing during action. It'll be very interesting to see if they get spoken to. Leominster's has been quiet. What are they going to do when Fitchburg takes the field?
Start matching them. But nice spot right there. I think Leominster might have got a little break, but good effort by Encarnacion.
1st and 10 for Leominster at the Red Raider 46. On a 5-step drop, it's Lopez. Goes safety valve, complete out of the backfield for Newton. Newton's got some space, working his way outside the numbers left. 45-40, and steps out of bounds shy of the 35 after a gain of 9. A nice pickup on a play where he was making it up as he went.
Yeah, and he had Drinkwater running free across the center of the field, too. He was running a big post pattern there, and he had his coverage beat. But good job dropping it off to that safety valve there. And no sense trying anything that's 50-50 balls. We've seen Leominster get in trouble with those. You don't want to stem any momentum you might be building here in this first drive.
8th play of the drive coming up for the Blue Devils.
4-receiver formation. Drinkwater's on the numbers left in one-on-one coverage. Encarnacion comes right to left. They fake it to the motion man. Lopez facing a blitz on his backside. Flips it off complete for Encarnacion. Now whistles, and they say it's incomplete. Encarnacion had a foot on the white sideline.
Yeah, I think he might have been out of bounds. If he had been out of bounds and then came all the way back in, I think that would have been a flag of some sort. But
the first to touch the football.
Must have been out of bounds when he touched it, never reestablished. But once again, he couldn't be the first touch.
Showing a good 3rd down and short. 3rd and about 2, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, good job by Lopez, though. Got his head up. I tell you, he avoided a sack somehow, ducked away from it. But looking for that second and third receiver, which is nice. He's got away from them 50-50 lobs and, praying for the best.
Drinkwater not happy right now out there at the receiver position.
2 receivers tight to the boundary left, and Aguilar, the sole receiver, wide to the right. In the shotgun snap, give it to Mackay Newton. Newton goes straight forward into the pile and continues to churn his legs, reaching toward the 35-yard line, and he will be deterred at the 36. We'll leave him about a half a yard short. It'll be 4th down and short for Leominster.
Yeah, they're not moving that line of scrimmage marker very much.
No.
It's going to be a long yard, Todd, and I fully expect more of the same here.
Leominster
a little bit of power football.
1 for 1 so far on 4th down in this drive alone. So now their second attempt, they need a yard.
7.5 minutes to play in a first quarter, first drive in a scoreless classic. Lopez scans the defense, now looks toward the sideline and makes a correction at the line with his lineman. And now with a 3-receiver set, the snap, the hole opens up, the handoff for Newton. Newton crosses the 35, then the 30, spun up and stood up at the 27-yard line. Needed 1.5, gains 8, and this Leominster drive continues.
Nice job right there. Newton doing all the tough work as we've seen him game in and game out. Since he got healthy, Todd, he's really been an asset at the running back position, getting those tough yards, 2, 3, 4 yards. You're like, well, he's not very productive, but he gets them when he needs them.
Right now he's averaging 5 yards a carry. He's totaled 15 total yards on 3 rushes.
4-receiver set, 2 on either side of this shotgun set. 1st and 10 for Leominster at the Red Raider 29. Blitz from the backside, forces Lopez to his right, throws over the middle of the field, finds the comeback curl into the hands of Drinkwater, sheds his defender, now angled to the goal line left, and in a 29-yard touchdown on the opening drive. 2 4th down conversions, and Leominster is first to the end zone.
Nice job right there by Lopez, too, keeping that play alive, waiting for Drinkwater to curl and come back to him, and finds him wide open in the middle of the field. And the rest of it, Drinkwater did all on his own, reversing directions at least 3 times to beat the Fitchburg defenders.
6:39 to play in the first quarter, and it's Leominster 6 and Fitchburg nothing. Point after attempt coming up for Dan Thompson. Brian Aguilar does the holding. The kick will go from right to left. Hard count. Red Raiders break the neutral zone, and that automatically kills play. There are no free plays under Federation rules. If the defense breaks the line of scrimmage, it is an automatic whistle, same as a false start would be on the offense.
It'd be interesting to see if Leominster changes up, but they're not. As a matter of fact, the kick is staying right there. They didn't even move in with the football.
About half a yard.
They moved the ball, and that's it.
Hard count, and the Red Raiders have broke again. Looking very much, Bill Thomas, they have seen for Leominster, this has been the part of their game where they have struggled.
Their Achilles heel for sure, Todd, and I think we're going to see a little change in philosophy here. Hey, they're going to give them 2 that's 2 out of the 3 yards, I guess. Hey, might as well try to snowplow a way in now.
Bring in the beef.
Go plowing.
Spot on the 1/2 yard line. This a point after touchdown attempt. Snowplow sets up to the right of the formation once again. Encarnacion in the Wildcat spot. The snap follows the plow and into the end zone. 2-point conversion is good. Back upfield come the teams in the Classic. 6:39 to play in the first quarter, and it is Leominster 8 and Fitchburg nothing. Kate, what a drive for Leominster. 2 4th down conversions, and then the finish with a flourish.
You're absolutely right. That 11-play drive in which Leominster had to convert on 4th down not once but twice ends after taking 5 minutes, 21 seconds off the clock. It was a 73-play drive capped by the 29-yard touchdown reception, freshman to freshman. It was Osiris Lopez to Caden Drinkwater, again 29 yards, 2-point conversion by Mr. Excitement. Ricky Encarnacion is good. Leominster leads 8-0 here in the first quarter.
The Red Raiders take their time coming back out onto the field. Leominster wearing the home royal blue tops, white bottoms trimmed in royal blue and white. White numerals front and back, the pitchfork at the nameplate on the back, Blue Devils across the front, and the classic Leominster. White helmet with the single royal blue stripe and white face mask.
Wouldn't be a game without Todd's Fashion Report, Bill Thomas.
I'm sure that's not the last one we're going to hear today either, but great job. But I tell you, the teams look fantastic in their colors.
It's a color-on-color day.
It is.
Red
Color
Raiders
rush.
coming up in a moment. Thompson on the approach from right to left. Sends this one on about 1 million hops all the way to the 30-yard line, where it will be returned by Yaniel Silvestri, who gets the corner edge crossing the 30, but got slung back at the 34. It's a return of 3 yards for Silvestri, and the Red Raiders will have the football 1st and 10 around their own 35-yard line, wearing their color rush brick red tops with the gray bottoms and the white numerals front and back, Fitchburg across the chest, and these second-year helmets, the steel gray with brick red face masks and the Red Raider logo on either side of the helmet.
For those wondering, no, Todd has not been to Paris Fashion Week.
Yet.
Yet. I love that.
If it's on the radio, I can describe it.
Nice job by Stephen Diaz there on special teams to stop that run back. Almost got the corner there. Silvestri did, but good job by Diaz.
1st and 10 for the Red Raiders at the 34-yard line, their own coming left to right. Under center, it's Bolak, and the snap inside give for Harvey Early, and Early crosses the 35-yard line to the 36, gains 2, and it's 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, Josh Cormier in the backfield there almost took the handoff from the quarterback and pretty much blew that play up, and rest of his friends come in to help. Josh getting some recognition for his defensive prowess last night at the banquet. Good to see.
Gave him 3 on that. Pretty fortuitous.
For the amount of time Leominster had in that first drive, it had to feel like an eternity for the Red Raider offense waiting to come out onto the field.
I'm sure, after all the pregame warm-up, and now you're over there in the shade getting cold. Exactly right, Kate.
For those that played the historic Saturday games here at Doyle Field, that's why Leominster's home sideline is this side of the field. The handoff to the first back through from Bolak, and it's shy of the 40. It's Devani De Leon, the fullback, who gets the carry and picks up 2 more. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Red Raiders.
Josh Cormier once again shooting the gap from his middle linebacker position there, following, looked like Gio Roman into what hole might have been there, but filling the gaps nicely for a short game. Gio Roman also getting recognized for his defensive work last night.
League
good
MVP.
Job, League. Yeah.
For defense.
Great
for
job.
defense.
On defense. Defensive
Out
MVP.
of all schools, league defensive MVP. That's a phenomenal statement given how good the defenses have been in Central Mass this year. 3rd down and 5 from their own 39 going left to right. Shotgun snap is high. Bolak is able to tap it down to himself. Josh Cormier gets there and makes the sack.
Nice job. Cormier once again blowing through whatever gap his defensive line is creating off those blocks and just chasing down the quarterback after that bad snap. Yeah, just nothing really that De Leon could do out of that. Running for his life at the end. Lucky to hold on to the ball, all things considered.
12 yards lost on the play. Moves the ball back across the 30 to the 27-yard line. 4.5 minutes and counting to play here in a fast-moving first quarter. It's Leominster 8 and Fitchburg nothing, facing a 4th down and forever from their own end of the field. Yaniel Silvestri in punt formation stands back at his own 13-yard line to await the snap. He'll be punting from left to right. Good snap, chest height, good kick away, crossing midfield. It will hop just shy of Steve Diaz across the 40, and it is touched down on the play by Josh Medina, and that was poison Bill Thomas, and Leominster got lucky.
Yeah, that came down awful close to Steven, but, and Ricky was trying to wave him off at that, pointing it out. Good job, though, that he pulled up. Leominster takes over. Pretty good field position here for the second drive of this first quarter.
4:08 to play in the first quarter. 8-0. Leominster on top of Fitchburg, and the Blue Devils have the football for the second time in the game. 1st down and 10 at their own 38-yard line, coming right to left. Shotgun set, 2 backs in the backfield. 2 receivers out in the formation. Lopez takes the snap, gives it to Newton. Newton turns the corner, and a little stiff arm shiver going into the sideline for good measure, and out of bounds around the 40. Gain of 1.5 yards, maybe 2.
Him and De Leon have a little conversation over here, but tell you, the bands are ramping it up here during play, and I love the atmosphere. It's got a college atmosphere all over it here today.
It's got the atmosphere of a classic, and
that
is what it feels like
what it should
here
feel
at
like.
Doyle Field on this Thanksgiving morning.
I tell you, great show of support from the Fitchburg faithful on the far sidelines. good to see.
2nd and 7 from their own 41. Lopez back to pass out of the gun. Looks to his right and throws. Pass is caught by Josh Cormier, the tight end. He's turned down just shy of the 45-yard line. And this year, Bill Thomas, Cormier has been more of a blocking tight end in that H-back role. Haven't been as many routes for him coming out of the backfield, but I know that's something Coach Gates wanted to incorporate the tight end more in this football game.
Yeah, and rewarding him for his play on the other side of the ball a little bit too.
So now both bands playing through play.
Yeah, I know it.
Both bands playing through play.
A battle of the bands on this Thanksgiving morning on 3rd down and 3.
Ooh.
Newton gets the carry, loses his defender. Now he's got the edge out to midfield. One defender to beat. He'll be caught up high, crossing the Red Raider 30 at the 25 and taken down at the 23-yard line. Huge run for Mackay Newton, and it's that signature look. It's a gain of 31 and a typical Mackay Newton run. Doesn't look like much coming to the line. Then all of a sudden he's in open space and he's gone.
I tell you, half-speed gallop till he gets the corner, and then, I think the defense thinks they got him squared up. He puts it in the next gear, turns that corner, all of a sudden a 5-yard gain turns into 30-plus.
1st down and 10 for Leominster at the Red Raider 24-yard line. Going right to left. Shotgun set, 2 backs, 3 receivers in the formation. The snap. Give it to Encarnacion. Thought about turning it upfield. Now makes it all the way to the right edge with some space out across the right numbers. Spun around, crossing the 10-yard line, and he'll be stood up shy of the 5. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. It's a gain of 20 on the play for Encarnacion with his legs out of the backfield. And it'll be a Leominster 1st down and goal to go from the 5-yard line.
Nice job by Ricky using his blockers out there, being led by Brian Aguilar. Slowed up a little bit, picked up that block, and I think he got him another 5+ yards out of that. Right in the shadow of the goal line. It looks like about the 4, Todd.
Yeah, 1st down and goal to go from the 4-yard line right there in the sun. Shotgun snap. Lopez, play action fake, throws. It's batted out of the air, and it is incomplete. He was looking for Cormier, was the intended receiver. The tight end going into the boundary, and Harvey Early says, denied.
Trying to see, is that who it was out there? I think it was 4. But numbers get bunched up. It's either 4 or 5. But nice job out there. Time that leap perfectly to get up in that passing zone.
Cyrus's only 2nd incomplete pass right now. He is 5 of 7, completing 71% of his passes. 52 passing yards for the freshman so far.
Clock stopped on the incompletion. 90 seconds left here in the first quarter. Leominster with an 8-0 advantage and looking to add on 2nd down and goal to go from the Red Raider 4. Snap, give it to Newton. Newton tries to stretch it to the left. Takes a shoulder block crossing the 5-yard line. May have advanced past the 4 to the 3. Give him a gain of 1, and it'll be 3rd down and goal to go from the 3-yard line.
Joshua Nolly just blowing that play up, running right through the lead blocker there, and meeting Micah just as he's trying to cut that corner, but not that time.
1:05 to play here in the first quarter. Leominster's 8-0 advantage, and they would like to add one more, and they have dominated possession of this first quarter of action. Shotgun set, Lopez with Encarnacion and Newton with him. Snap, they give it to Newton. Newton juggled it. He now recovered it and then gets hit behind the 5 and back down around the 9-yard line. Loses 4, 5, maybe even 6 on the play as Mackay Newton and Lopez struggled with the exchange of the ball, and then all of a sudden a circus act broke out as Newton's juggling the ball and is lucky to have come up with it.
He's lucky that came back down in his hands, but Mackay did a good job keeping his eyes on that ball and corralling it, not trying to do too much, but once again, 4th down territory.
Now Coach Greg Graham wants to spend a timeout. 24 seconds left in the first quarter. 8-0 is the advantage right now for Leominster, and facing a 4th down and goal to go here. Greg Graham says, let's talk about this on defense, because a defensive stop for the Red Raiders could be crucial here late in the first quarter.
Yeah, this will be huge, because you don't want to try to trade scores when you're down 2. You never get caught back up, especially in this type of game. So yeah, big play right here.
4th down, Leominster's 2 for 2 so far on 4th downs here in the first quarter. You have a situation where if you're Coach Greg Graham, obviously the obvious potential is that it's a pass to Encarnacion because he's been so phenomenal. But right now, Leominster has so many weapons Newton, he can pick up the 8 yards if you need it. You've got the freshman in Drinkwater who's electric as well. You've Encarnacion, and now, hello, Josh Cormier, tight end. I'm going to catch the ball here on Thanksgiving. A lot of weapons for Leominster. Coach Greg Graham has to make sure that his student athletes focus on their job and make sure that each of those weapons is covered on defense.
And it could be a pick your poison sort of situation. Leominster, meanwhile, faces a 4th down and goal to go from about the 9-yard line.
It's the biggest 4th down yardage-wise they've had of the 3.
Aguilar's out there, too. They got trips to the right.
They do. Trips set up. In the midst of that slot is Encarnacion. Aguilar is all the way out. Drinkwater slot nearest to the formation. On 4th down and goal, Lopez rolls out, had room, throws back line to the end zone. It is tipped. It is incomplete. It is a turnover on downs, and the Red Raider defense stands on an and goal to go situation late here in the first quarter.
Devani DeLeon chasing Osiris Lopez to the sideline and forcing him to throw that pass high. I think Osiris might have had a line to the corner. Hard to tell up here. We got a bad angle, but chose to try to force it in. Pass went high, and good job by Fitchburg stopping that drive on the 7 or 8 yard line. But long field, but that's still going to be considered a win for Fitchburg.
16 seconds left here in the first quarter. Leominster's 8-0 advantage stands in the 142nd meeting of these two communities, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic here on a Thanksgiving Thursday at Doyle Field. Second offensive possession for the Red Raiders starts with a straight back I formation. Bolak under center. The snap and the give. Handoff went inside for Eli Gonzalez, who was dotting the I as the tailback. Got it out to the right edge, crossed the 10-yard line of the 11. Gains 1, 2nd down and 9.
Nice job by Delmar Wright leading the way that time defensively. It's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter.
Indeed it will. Teams will change ends. Second quarter action on deck. It's Leominster 8 and Fitchburg 0. Leominster dominates time of possession in the first quarter, but can only score 1 time. That's the headline through 1 quarter here from Doyle Field. Todd Robbins with Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins here at Doyle Field today. Great to have you along with us on this Thanksgiving and with our partners at Leominster TV on Comcast Channel 9, Verizon Channel 32, and streaming on their website at leominster.tv, and live with our brand new radio partners for this season, having their first live Thanksgiving Day Classic. It's 95.1 FM WLPZ and WLPZ.org. Sonny Levine at Master Control, pushing the buttons and making the magic happen, and it's great to have them along with us on this Thanksgiving as well. And for those of you joining us in this weekend's delay, our partner Dick Tucker, Tucker 56 Radio, TUCKA56radio.com, all of us working together all season long, and for this classic, we're so pleased to support the student athletes and institutions as the legendary soundtrack of football in Central Massachusetts continues right here on RFM Audio. It's great to have you with us on this Thanksgiving. Kate, through 1 quarter, what stands out on your stat sheet?
All right, if we take a look at let's take a look at team totals first. Right now, Leominster has a total of 134 yards of offense, 52 coming via the pass, 82, oddly enough, coming via the rush, but we're started back up.
Indeed, it was an option out to the right. First man to the hole, it was Devani DeLeon, the fullback, plows forward for 2 more. It'll be a 3rd down and 7 to go for the Red Raiders, right across their own 10 and about the 11-yard line.
The big stat, though, Todd, Fitchburg net 11 negative yardage on offense so far. Negative yardage for Fitchburg's offense.
And with also only 1 offensive possession, too, basically in the
Still
quarter.
Trying to make up for that bad snap on the first drive.
3 and out.
3rd down and 7 from their own 12-yard line. Bolak having a conversation with DeLeon behind him. He'll go up under center in the single back set. The snap, play action fake. Back to pass with pursuit. Out to the sideline, looks, and the pass is long and incomplete. Intended receiver out there was Dorian Wells, who had beat his defender down the sideline, but Bolak just barely missed him.
Go ahead, Kate.
Another 3 and out for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, Xavier Cora bearing down there on Bolak. Had to get rid of it a little quick. Receiver couldn't catch up with it.
11-12 to play here in the second quarter, an 8-0 Leominster advantage, and it's a 4th down and 7 to go for the Red Raiders. They will face a punt situation here. Yaniel Silvestri will stand back at his own goal line, actually across the goal line. It's about 2 yards deep in his own end zone to do the punting.
Yeah, a little slow on the change here on special teams too, but officials giving him time before they put the ball in play.
Ricky Encarnacion stands around the Red Raider 37, 38-yard line to return this one.
Chomping at the bit to get his hands on this one, Todd and Kate, I'm quite sure.
Silvestri 2 yards deep on this 4th down punt. Puts a good foot into it, angled toward the sideline. It will hop just in bounds at the 39-yard line and then roll out.
They're going to give him the
at
41.
The 41.
Yep.
So it is Leominster football, 1st and 10 at the Red Raider 41-yard line. Going left to right, a punt of about 30 yards, and hey, keep it away from Encarnacion.
And Bill Thomas, low-hanging fruit, best starting field position for the Blue Devils of the game.
I tell you that, and I'll grab that other one. They've definitely dominated the time of possession.
Certainly. Certainly.
A 1st down and 10 to go for the Blue Devils from the Red Raider 41, going left to right. Shotgun snap, handoff, Newton straight up the middle of the field with a hole, following John Escabi. That is his lead blocker, across the 35 and taken down just shy of the 30. It's a gain of 9.
Nice job running through an arm tackle there behind the line of scrimmage, but not slowing him down at all, picking up a nice strong 8 plus, bringing up 2nd and short.
2nd down and 1 to go. Right back to that shotgun snap and right back to Newton once again. And Newton follows his blocks, across the 30 to the 29, and that is enough for a Leominster 1st down. This time going to the right, it was Escabi and Corin Sullivan, the right guard, leading the way.
Just enough right there. Move the chains. Chain crew a little slow here.
It's cold on that side of the field.
Let's keep moving. Yeah, they're in the shade too. Offense is ready to go.
1st and 10 Leominster from the Red Raider 29. The screen comes out of the backfield, complete for Newton. Newton again crosses the 30 and moves the football to about the 27, gain of 2, 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, slow development play right there. Good job by the Fitchburg defense to circle around that screen, get through the blocks, and giving them 1, but that's a generous 1 right there.
Under 10 minutes to play before halftime. 8-0 Leominster's advantage in this one. 2nd down and 8 to go. Ball at the Red Raider 27-yard line. Slow to the line. Newton's going to come out for a spell. Braden Martin in at the running back spot. Encarnacion along with Lopez at the quarterback spot. 2 fakes, and then Lopez follows Escabi, his pulling lead, block out in front of him, the center, cross the 20 toward the 15, and out of bounds across the 15 at the 12-yard line. Nice run by Osiris Lopez, and a great pull by the center Escabi to get out and lead the block downfield.
Yeah, not only to get that snap back there, but have the clear of mind to get out there and lead that sweep there by Lopez on that keeper, but a great heads-up football play all around right there by the offense.
Gain of 20 for Lopez, and it's 1st and 10 for Leominster from the Red Raider 12-yard line. Shotgun set, the snap. Fake the give. Now the rollout. Lopez going to keep it himself. Blocks out in front. Throws on the brakes, crossing the 10, shy of the 5, but he will fall forward in a pack of Red Raiders to about the 6-yard line.
Escabi out there in front again, but Lopez never really caught up to his lead blockers there, was running behind him, allowed the Red Raider defense to slip in between the blockers and him and take him down for a short gain.
Good for 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4 to go. Leominster can get a 1st down at the Red Raider 4-yard line, and then an and goal to go situation after that. Coach Devin Gates sending the signals into his huddle. Crew Chief Bill Goslin turns around and reminds him, you're just a little too far out on the field.
Having a very cordial conversation.
Beats the sideline warning flag. The shotgun snap. Newton back in the game. Gets the handoff from Lopez toward the 5-yard line, down around the 4. Gains a yard, maybe 2. 8.5 to play here in this first half. 8-0 Leominster advantage. And Bill Thomas, given that we have seen this team all year long, how surprised are you that they are maintaining such discipline and they are running the football? They are forcing this ball down the field on the ground.
Well, I think they're riding the seniors. The seniors' last game, let's put the seniors front and center, whether it's running the ball, blocking, and or catching the ball and doing a good job offensively, getting all those seniors involved.
3rd down and 2 to go. Lopez, 2 fakes, now keeps it himself. Out to the left. He gets hit. The ball comes loose into the hands of Ricky Encarnacion. Will make it. Drinkwater into the end zone for the touchdown.
Wow, that was a big hit, too. Lopez got from the right side. That ball popped right into Drinkwater's arms.
Lopez was going the wrong way downfield. As he turned the corner, he got whacked from one side backwards, then got whacked from the other side. Ball comes flying out, and who else would be there to clean up the trash but one Caden Drinkwater, who makes the catch and takes it into the end zone.
I tell you, he's following the play, and that, you don't just stand around and watch. He was in the right place at the right time. Once again, it's got to be out there leading the play. Lopez cuts that inside. Great job by Drinkwater. Heads up.
Point after attempt. Aguilar holds for Thompson. Ball down, kick from left to right. Splits the uprights toward the upper hill. No is the signal. It actually is no good.
Wide right, I think, Todd. But officials had a better look at it.
7:55 to play here in the second quarter, and it's Leominster 14 and Fitchburg nothing.
Tell you, that's got to be a huge letdown for the Fitchburg defense. They had him. I don't know if he was going to be stopped. He might have had the first down there, but to have that ball pop free and just fly right into Drinkwater's arms on the run pretty much goes in untouched.
And what a fortuitous bounce. Kate looked at me and she goes, pass, fumble? We're going to go with fumble
recovery off a run.
And into the end zone. I believe it was backwards, so it becomes a lateral, sort of. But either way you slice it, it worked. And not the way you drew it up, but it works nonetheless.
Fumble recovery for a touchdown. Well, one way I don't think Drinkwater scored this year, so we'll give him credit for that.
Finding different ways to check things off the boards, to say the least. Ball comes back on the tee, 40-yard line at our left. And on this November the 24th, we harken back 67 years to the day. November 24th, 1955. Leominster, a 39-7 victor over Fitchburg on that day. Frank Novak Sr. was the quarterback for Leominster, was featured this year as part of our recipe for a classic special, and Togo Palazzi was part of that team as well. And the list of Leominster legends continues as the ball kicks straight up the middle of the field, and it is taken by Martin right down around the 43-yard line. Antonio Santiago will stop it up there for the Red Raiders. And Bill Thomas, 67 years to the day for a win for Leominster.
That's my birth year. 1955. Congratulations. Yeah, 67 years later, I get the pleasure of calling one of these games, and the tradition continues. The rivalry continues, and it'll continue long after we're gone, but just to be part of it's fantastic.
The tradition continues once again here at Doyle Field today. Red Raiders' third touch of the football, first down and 10, their own 43-yard line going right to left. Straight back I formation, the handoff for the fullback De Leon. Stopped up on the play, Henry Marte makes the contact.
Yeah, I had to look there. I haven't called Henry's name today, but in the backfield on that, at the point of handoff, no gain, and lucky not to have, Fitchburg's lucky not to have put the ball on the ground right there.
7.5 minutes and counting to play here in the second quarter. Leominster's advantage is 14-0, and the defense, which has been their hallmark, continues to give the Red Raiders fits, who they are a power football team. That's what they have been historically, and they are continuing to try to establish once again here. And then in that same moment, they go shotgun set. Two receivers in the formation.
Doesn't mean they're not going to run.
With Bolak. Claps for the snap. Bolak hits the back foot, launches up that right side. Jump ball is intercepted. Steve Diaz makes the interception for Leominster at the Blue Devil 27-yard line. Steve Diaz has been everywhere this year, offense and defense. Comes up with the INT on this Thanksgiving Day.
Nice job right there. And Steve looked like he was the intended receiver. Had that outside position on the sideline, looking back, and it almost looked like the Fitchburg wide receiver was covering him. It went right over the Fitchburg's receiver's hands and fell right into Stevens. Great job. He looked like the offensive player, but all based on his great positioning there from that cornerback position.
Offensive coordinator Christian Lopez on the Fitchburg side would go back to that play because they ran it on the previous series, and they did. The receiver got open, beat the defender down the sideline. The throw was just a little long, so they go back to it here, and it's an interception. 1st and 10 for Leominster, and on the first down handoff, it's Newton who's seeking contact. 10 yards, crossing the 35, then the 40, and down at the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 17 on the play.
And it runs over at least two Red Raiders en route to those 17 yards without even slowing down.
This is about as aggressive as I've seen Newton with his shoulder and his shimmy work. He's been absolutely masterful.
He'll get the first down handoff again, crossing midfield, and he's pushing forward again across the Red Raider 45 to the 44-yard line for a Leominster first down on a gain of 12.
I tell you, he's running with renewed vigor, Todd, and he was injured the first 3-4 games of the season. He worked his way back into shape slowly. But great job, and I tell you, he wants to go out in style, and he's doing it today.
This is as fundamentally sound as I have seen him, especially with that off-ball hand. He has been strong-arming defenders that have been getting in his way, not only between the tackles, but when he's been getting to the outside edge, he has been making his presence known, and he has been dominating with that off-ball arm.
And he's taking on the contact, Kate, is what I'm seeing. He's not afraid to cut between the blockers and make his own path and take on those defenders. I think that's something he was shying away from the first half of the season, but he's taking on with full aggressiveness today.
He's struggled for years with injury and getting through an entire season. There isn't a game after this.
This is it.
Lay it all out there.
Last
I agree 100%.
game for the seniors. 6:24 to play in the second quarter. It's Leominster 14 and Fitchburg nothing. The Red Raiders spend a timeout to just slow things down a little bit. I've got to imagine if you're Coach Greg Graham and you're over on that sideline looking at your team, you're just watching the sand run out of the hourglass right now, and Leominster's 14-0 advantage looks dominant because they're not going to let you touch the ball, and when you do, it's going to be in very short spurts.
Well, I'm sure they got to be, battening down the hatches defensively. They got to get the ball back. They've only had 2 possessions, and be like you say, be lucky if they get one more in this first half.
Leominster's possessed the ball for 14 minutes in this half.
14 out of 18.
Out of 24.
24-ish.
First down and 10 for Leominster at the Red Raider 44. Back to pass, it's Lopez. Lopez got coverage downfield, so he tucks across the 40 and steps out of bounds, shy of the Red Raider 35 at the 37-yard line. That will gain about 8, maybe 7, and we'll call it second down and 3 to go.
Nice job by Cyrus taking what the defense is giving him, playing pass coverage there and opening up the flats. We thought maybe he could have ran in earlier, but when he threw the ball, he had a lot of open ground in front of him. But he's mature, and he's learning when to tuck and run.
Second down and 3 to go. A shotgun set, 4 receivers fan out in the formation. Lopez back to pass, launches, middle of the field, looking for Diaz for the payoff. He makes the catch for the Blue Devil touchdown. A 37-yard touchdown strike. Osiris Lopez to Steve Diaz for a Leominster 6 points.
And that's the way you pay off. Right there, Diaz gets him the ball in that interception, and he pays off on the other end with that touchdown reception. I like that. I really like that.
6:05 to play before halftime, and it's Leominster 20 and Fitchburg nothing.
And on top of that, looking back into the sun, I think the Fitchburg defender got lost in the sun, actually, but Diaz knew right where he was the entire time.
Sun up in the upper left side of the field on the Morton Street gate side right now here at Doyle Field. Point after attempt, Aguilar holds for Thompson. Hard count, Red Raiders trying to rush for the block. Blow through the line, and the ball has not moved. They'll move it up a half a yard. We'll replay the try.
See if we do this again.
And I understand what the Red Raiders are trying to do.
Hey,
teams have had a lot of success limiting Leominster point afters, which can make all the difference when every single point matters in the football game. Snap, ball down. It's a busted play. Thompson didn't get to it. Aguilar stood up, and the point after gets snuffed out. Back up the field come the teams. 6:07 to play before halftime. It's Leominster 20 and Fitchburg nothing.
Bill Thomas, I'm taking a look at a stat over here. Total yards of offense. Leominster 250. Right now, Fitchburg still net -4.
And back to that time possession. The half has 24 minutes in it. We've got 6 to go. We've only played 18 minutes.
You got it.
And Leominster got close to 15 minutes of those 18 possessing the ball offensively. So
can't score touchdowns if we don't have the ball.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Kate.
We've been fortunate enough to do so many interviews with legends of this classic who have imparted messages for their respective teams. Just a couple of years ago, this is Warren Muir, Fitchburg legendary running back. His message to the Red Raiders.
Oh boy, I'll have to think about what some of my coaches would have said to us, and I can remember some of those words. I guess if I were in the position of the coach, I'd say, boys, you worked all season to prepare for this game. The winner will be better conditioned, block better, tackle better, kick better, run better, throw better, and catch better. Simple as that. Boys, give 100% from kickoff to the final whistle. If you get knocked down, jump right back up and get back into the pursuit of the game. On the first play, offense or defense, knock your opponents on their backs. I'd use another word, but I'm trying to be nice in case any ladies are listening.
What a lovely man.
That is Warren Muir's words for the Red Raiders, and the Red Raiders need it right now. Kickoff was returned across the 30 to the 32-yard line, and now a 1st and 10. Back to pass, it's Bolak. He'll swing that pass out complete for Josh Nardi, across the 40 to the 43-yard line, and it's enough for a Red Raider first down.
One of the few they've gotten in this first half.
And
The first down.
I knew there was few and far between.
And Bill Thomas, when you listen,
it's great to have the instant stat lady.
Oh, absolutely.
I
the
love
instant stats on
instant
site.
Stat lady.
But how about the words of Warren Muir talking about this game? Team that blocks better, that plays better downfield, that executes better.
Take charge from the first play.
And thus far, that has been Leominster in this first half of the football game. 1st down and 10 to go for the Red Raiders. Their own 44 going right to left. Shotgun snap. 2 fakes. Bolak is wrapped and taken down for a sack. Back across the Red Raider 35 at the 33-yard line. It's a loss of 9. And in there on the play was Henry Marte once again. Saw Delmar right in there with Gio Roman as well.
And that entire front four was in there, one facet or another, either causing Bolak to run for his life or in on that tackle, but Bolak swinging that ball around very carelessly, too. Lucky he didn't get that ripped away from him, but got to take a little better care of the rock there. And
he was looking for help, though. As soon as that ball was snapped, he knew he was being enveloped, looking for help. And right now, every step forward Fitchburg takes, they take 2 back.
2nd down and long. Bolak back to pass. Throw looking slot to the right. Pass is caught crossing midfield. And that's Dorian Wells on the comeback to gain of 15 to the Leominster 49-yard line.
Nice job. And, that's what Bolak's got to do. He doesn't have a lot of time to set up back there. He's got to pick a spot and just throw to it. Those little cut patterns across the middle right there. It's the quickest way for your receiver to get open and you not have to worry about getting chased around.
A 15-yard gain, Todd, brings up a 3rd and 4 for the Red Raiders.
Passing the 4-minute mark here of this first half, a 20-0 Leominster advantage. Trips left after the motion man. The high snap fielded by Bolak. Handoff went for De Leon. It stood up at the line and pushed back from midfield.
Gio Roman comes out of the pile, hands on and not letting go. Brings up a big 4th down here for Fitchburg.
They gave him no gain on the play at the Leominster 49-yard line.
What do
so
you do?
It'll be 4th down and 4 to go.
What do you do if you're Fitchburg?
I don't think you have any choice, Bill Thomas. Not when you're down 20-0. You're getting the ball back. You are getting the ball back after halftime. You deferred at the coin toss. But at this point, I feel like you're on that slippery slope where you may not be able to crawl back out of it.
Dangerous ground if you don't get this first down.
Yeah,
either.
Bolak gets the snap on 4th down. The busted play. Bolak with some room. He crossed the 45 to the 44. He had the first down, but the ball has been ruled fumbled, and Delmar Wright comes up with it.
Knocked out there. I didn't see who created that fumble, but looked like Bolak had plenty of yards, but a little careless once again with the football, but a big hit from a
Had
Blue
the
Devil.
first down, Bill Thomas.
Had the first down. He did, but didn't tuck it away. Big hit by somebody there, but Delmar right on the spot.
Disaster for the red and gray on this Thanksgiving morning. 1st and 10 for Leominster after the fumble and recovery at their own 48-yard line. 3:08 to play before halftime. Leominster with a 20-0 advantage, trips to the wide side left, and a shotgun set. Lopez back to pass on the delay. Opens up in the middle of the field. He slides across midfield to the 47.
That's getting better.
We'll call that the slip and slide.
Tony
to the
Savatelli must be
49-yard
helping.
line. We'll work on that. You got to get the figure 4 down and slide forward. Somebody go wet down some grass for him.
Devani De Leon, nice job, stopped and then helped him up. I'll give him some credit for that, but
he's
Lopez
getting better.
is learning. He's learning.
I don't know if they still run the Bolton baseball camp, but that's where I learned how to slide. They went down that field. Just go out there one afternoon. Just keep sliding.
He's getting better.
2nd down and 6 to go. Shotgun set, trips tight to the boundary right. The give is for Newton. Newton dances inside and out. Now he'll dance out to midfield and be pushed out of bounds at midfield. Short loss on the play.
Nice job by that first level of Fitchburg defense to contain that outside edge. Leominster's been able to run through the tackles, up those gaps, up the middle, and they've also been able to bounce it to the outside. That's the first time that we've seen Fitchburg's defense contain the exterior edge.
Yeah, and we've seen offensive linemen for Leominster get out there and lead those sweeps. Newton just taking a little too much time there to make his cut upfield. He dipped his shoulder, I think, twice before he ran out of room over there. Never really got turned.
Didn't get much blocking.
Nope.
Leominster
I think the blockers got ran over at that point, Kate, but he was waiting for him.
Leominster taking their time. Here's 3rd down and 8 to go from midfield. Back to pass. Lopez looks up the left boundary for Drinkwater. Long and incomplete. Good coverage downfield. Josh Nardi was step for step with Drinkwater down the left edge. And it'll bring up a 4th down and 8 to go from midfield for Leominster.
Punt team coming out. Great decision here by the special teams coach to
change field position.
Not give Fitchburg any breath here of life as the second quarter winds down. Pin him back, and maybe he can get another turnover. Fitchburg tries to do something.
First punt for Leominster on the day. This is their 5th offensive possession. They've got 3 touchdown drives, a turnover on downs. This is their first punt.
4th down and 8 to go from midfield. Viola stands at his own 36, awaiting the snap. Braden Martin, the gunner, will fan out to the right. High snap pushes Viola back across the 35. He'll make the catch at the 33 and release the punt, which will hop at the 25-yard line, take a Red Raider forward bounce, and Josh Cormier will make the catch to touch it down. It'll be a Red Raider 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line, going right to left for the next 1:27 before halftime. And again, they get the football after halftime, but you got to feel here, Bill Thomas, if you're going to get back into this game, if you're going to be able to keep the team moving forward, a 2-for-1 shot here is what the Red Raiders need to have.
But this is a dangerous spot for Fitchburg to be in because, Leominster's licking their chops here and knowing the situation Fitchburg's in.
2 turnovers already for this Red Raiders offense, but this is a must-have.
Motion man is Silvestri. He'll move from left to right. Bolak, the snap, goes screen to the right. Pass is caught, but thrown back across the 25 to the 24-yard line. It was Dorian Wells who made the catch, and Steve Diaz was all over him.
Calling his name a lot today, but on both sides of the ball, having a great game. Diaz, one of those seniors, really playing up on his last game here on Doyle Field.
We talk about the memories and the names from Thanksgivings gone past that have made their mark. And Steve Diaz was one of those guys that you thought had to be in the running for making his mark. And thus far today, an interception and a touchdown. Another high snap on 2nd and 9. A wobbler thrown out to the left and is knocked down incomplete. The intended receiver was Josh Medina coming from left to right.
Aguilar in on the defensive stop right there, coming over the top. Great timing by Brian.
Now, Bill Thomas, if you're Lucas Bolak in the quarterback spot and you know that when you get the ball, you need to get rid of it because that defensive line for Leominster is in your face right away. Not a lot of protection on the O-line right now for Fitchburg, but consistently getting high snaps in that gun or in that pistol from your center, that's going to make a quarterback
throws the
nervous.
timing completely off, Kate. You're right.
3rd down and 9 for the Red Raiders, their own 27. A hard count for Bolak, and Leominster's entire front crosses the neutral zone. Offsides.
Good job right there. We haven't seen that from Bolak, and Leominster defense a little antsy right there, coming after him, knowing this is a big play.
The definition of pinning your ears back right now if you're on the Leominster front.
They were coming after him for sure, and especially looking like Kate said for that high snap, throws everything off. You want to come at him full speed. He's looking for those quick wide receiver screens and slants, and that high snap throws that all off, and especially if you got a defender in your face.
3rd down and 4 to go after the enforcement. Ball across the 30 at the 33-yard line at right hash. Shotgun set, 4 receivers out in the formation, evenly divided. Bolak scans the line, claps for the ball. Back to pass, sets back foot. Goes outside edge. There was a hole. The catch is made by Medina across the Leominster 45 at the 43-yard line, but the flag is out. I believe Viola was holding all the way down the field, and that drew the flag.
DPI. That's going to be defensive pass interference.
36 seconds left before halftime, a 20-0 Leominster advantage as it stands. It's a 24-yard gain, penalty declined on the pass interference call.
Great catch right there, contested catch by by Medina, and he held on the ball all the way through the tackle.
22-yard
despite the
pickup.
flag.
First down and 10 to go from the 44-yard line, left hash. Shotgun set. 3 receivers go out into the formation, wide to the right. Single receiver down into the boundary left is Medina. The snap and the rollout for Bolak. He rolls toward the trips. He will throw on the run, cross his body, contested catch. Ball comes up. It's an interception. It is an interception. It is Leominster football. Back across the 40 to the 45. My, oh my, oh my. Braden Martin makes the interception. The catch was initially made by Josh Nardi. Nardi got spun around. Football flies up. Braden Martin takes it on the interception. What a set of developments, Bill Thomas.
Well, and I tell you, great job by Bolak rolling out there, creating time, and finding somebody out there. A lot of congestion, a lot of defenders out there, but you're right. Took a hit, bounced up, and right into Braden Martin's hands that time. Worked his way down the sideline, got about 15 yards on the return.
Talk about great concentration once again, seeing a loose football. First down and 10. Lopez back to pass. Looks for Drinkwater to the left at the boundary, and it's incomplete, short of the intended target. It'll bring up second down and 10, 19 seconds before halftime. Leominster with a 20-0 advantage.
And I got to believe it's time to look for Mr. O down the middle. Just let it fly. A couple of plays here as the first half winds down. Let's look for Ricky. Let him use his speed and his size. See if he can't get behind the defense, and let's get it all in one shot.
Second down and 10 to go from their own 45 at left hash, going left to right. Shotgun snap. Lopez back to pass, waits for the rush, flips the screen, complete for Newton, breaks down, now turns it up the numbers right. Crossing midfield, 45, and taken down at the 43-yard line with enough for a Blue Devil first down at the Red Raider 43 and a gain of 12 for Newton. And Leominster will spend a timeout, stop the clock 8 seconds before halftime, with a 20-0 advantage. Coming up at the half here on RFM and our myriad of partners, Leominster TV, WLPZ 95.1 FM. We've got a jam-packed halftime coming up. Kate's got your first half stat recap that is going to feature a lot of blue and white numbers on that accord. Then follow that up with the bands. You get the bands here on RFM. We've got them both for you on this Thanksgiving morning. Leominster's Marching Blue Devils in their new threads, I should say. On the other side, we've got the Marching Red Raiders will be out. The award-winning, by the way, 8 consecutive award wins for Tabitha Greenlees and the Red Raiders with their gold medal. So they will be out for halftime performance as well. We'll have both of those for you here on RFM Audio with our partners at Leominster TV and 95.1 FM WLPZ. All that coming up at the half, and we'll have our impact play and our mid-game adjustments just before kickoff of the second half of this 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic. What a morning thus far here at Doyle Field. An absolutely gorgeous day and a phenomenal crowd. Clearly one of the best crowds in the last 5 or 6 years here at Doyle Field emerges for this Thanksgiving morning.
I tell you, the feeling that you get on a Thanksgiving morning couldn't be any greater when you get this kind of turnout in these conditions.
First and 10, Leominster, 8 seconds before halftime. Down the field go 4 receivers out of the shotgun. Lopez, lots of time, uncorks up the left numbers, jump ball. Drinkwater beat the defender. It went in and out of his hands, incomplete. And it's halftime of the 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic. Leominster, a dominant first half performance. Turnovers and then converting them into points. It's Leominster 20 and Fitchburg nothing at the half of the 116th Classic.
Yeah, not only converting them into points, but stymieing any attempt at Fitchburg to get back in this game and just stopping them cold in their tracks. And 3 possessions is not going to do it in a half for any football team. But let's give credit where credit's due. The offense took control of the ball in an uncharacteristic way with the running game. But we saw some of the passing game emerge, but really the running game dominated that first half for Leominster.
Bradley Bedard bringing you the beautiful pictures here on Leominster TV on a gorgeous day here at Doyle Field this Thanksgiving Thursday. Keith DePerry back at Master Control, bringing you the replay looks as well from Leominster TV. Halftime of this 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic. It's Leominster 20 and Fitchburg nothing. Leominster Marching Band setting up. Marching Red Raiders are ready to go. We'll step aside for a moment. When we continue, it's the bands at halftime of this 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg. This is the Classic on RFM Audio.
A well-rounded education is one that is not only academically oriented, but one that also includes physical, social, and emotional development. Interscholastic Athletics provides the other half of education. The MIAA encourages you to support your local high school athletic teams throughout the school year. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through educational athletics.
When is the best time to talk to your child about athletics and the use of mood-altering chemicals? Try talking together when there's no pressing problem. Let your child know what your expectations are and where the boundaries are in your family. And, above all, keep talking together. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through educational athletics.
This is Bob Sosi, the voice of New England football, for the best high school football action in North Central Mass, featuring our award-winning broadcast team of Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, and Kate Robbins. Keep it right here.
Back to historic Doyle Field, halftime on this Thanksgiving morning. Leominster 20 and Fitchburg nothing at the half. As promised, you get the bands here on RFM and with our partners at 95.1 FM WLPZ and Leominster TV. And with that, the Marching Red Raiders are underway. The performance of the Fitchburg High School Marching Band has gone to the far sideline and just finished tuning up on the near sideline, you also heard the Leominster High School marching band. And Kate, there's been a phenomenal battle on the football field, but in the stands as well, there's been a battle of the bands going on here at Doyle Field as well.
All day. I can remember more often than not when Barry Hudson was in charge of the Leominster band, officials going over to the sideline to stop the bands from playing during play. But both bands have been playing through live game action all day long, so it's been quite fun. It's been a ruckus good time,
and that is what is part and the great part of this Thanksgiving morning. Gotta absolutely love that. Kate, halftime here at historic Doyle Field, and an opportunity for you as you've been going through the stats to take us through the first half stat recap whilst we wait for the marching Blue Devils to get ready for their performance coming up. We'll dip into them in a moment, but here's Kate's first half stats. And Kate, there is a lot to be happy about if you are an alum of Leominster.
That's certainly true. All right, let's take a look at team totals first. Leominster with a total of 264 yards of offense, 102 coming via the pass, 162 coming via the rush, and 36 plays on offense. No turnovers for the Blue Devils. They've also had the ball for 16 of the 24 minutes. On the Red Raiders side of the ball, a net total 36 yards, 49 coming via the pass. They've only had 17 plays on offense, and they have 3 turnovers on offense. They've possessed the ball for 8 total minutes. Individual notable statistics for the Red Raiders: De Leon out of the backfield, 4 rushes for 4 yards. If we take a look at the passing and receiving, Lucas Bolak, 4 of 6 passing. He's completed 67% of his passes for a total of 49 yards to 3 different receivers. Josh Medina has a reception. Dorian Wells has a pair of receptions, and Josh Nardi has a reception as well. So 4 receptions for 49 yards for the Red Raiders. On the Blue Devils side of the ball, if we take a look at the individual statistics, once again, Leominster possessed the ball for 16 of the 24 first half minutes. Rushing yards right now, the senior Mackay Newton, 13 rushes for a total of 86 rushing yards. He also has 3 receptions for 22 yards. Ricky Encarnacion out of the backfield, 3 rushes for 28 yards. Ricky also has a pair of receptions as well. Caden Drinkwater even has, technically, because of the fumble recovery, we're going to have to give him some rushing yardage as well. So
indeed.
He has a little bit of rushing yardage for a touchdown, and he also has a 29-yard reception. Steve Diaz, 1 reception for 37 yards. It was a big one. And then rounding out that receiving, the tight end, Josh Cormier, has a reception as well. The freshman quarterback, Osiris Lopez, 8 of 14 passing, 102 yards. He's averaging 12.8 yards per pitch and catch. We've got the 007 theme. Loving that.
Never miss a chance for that.
Love, love, love.
Absolutely.
We take a look at Leominster's 3 touchdowns. In the first quarter, the 29-yard touchdown reception by the freshman, Caden Drinkwater. 2-point conversion was good. Leominster was up 8-0. In the second quarter, the 4-yard fumble recovery by the freshman as well, Caden Drinkwater. Extra point there, no good. Leominster up 14-0. And rounding out their first half scoring with 6:07 remaining in the half, the 37-yard touchdown reception by Steve Diaz. Extra point, no good. 20-0 right now. Advantage Leominster. You got to think right now, Bill Thomas and Todd Robbins, Caden Drinkwater quietly having a banner day out there as the freshman. He's got 2 touchdowns. One was supposed to be to him. The other was not.
Go figure on that one, as if he needed another opportunity to make a mark. And that's the whole thing. You concentrate, you stay, you play right through the play, and you never know what might develop for you as the Marching Red Raiders continue their award-winning performance over on the far sideline. We continue here at historic Doyle Field. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you here on RFM Audio, Leominster TV, and 95.1 FM WLPZ. It's so great to be with you on another Thanksgiving morning here at Doyle Field. Cannot say enough about how great it is to all be together here. And again, this community tradition. I heard earlier as I was walking down the sidewalk out here as I was heading to the interview, folks were coming in and they were gently chiding each other. Some Red Raiders coming into this Leominster gate, or some Leominster folks coming into the Fitchburg gate. Hey, you're on the wrong sideline. Hey, you're on the wrong sideline, and giving each other a hard time. And Bill Thomas, this is what's great. It is quite literally, Kate's right, it's a high school reunion for everybody every single year that this tradition happens.
100%, Todd, you're spot on. You can be friends all 364 days, but today you're a rival with that 365th day. But I got to tell you, during that first half, Todd, I saw somebody that I wasn't really sure who they were, but they were completely decked out in Red Raider red, and you were taking your picture with them, and I was waiting for a bolt of lightning to come flying through the booth, but it's all great on this type of day.
That's my good friend Mike Roberts.
I know.
Mike Roberts of Fitchburg fame.
You couldn't have put
Now
another
lives in
piece of
Leominster.
red on him, and you better run for cover if he puts that picture on Facebook. You might have to make amends at some point, but that's what this day is all about, the traditions of getting together and the rivalries and the friendships.
And with that, as we get ready for a performance of the Leominster High School Marching Blue Devils in their beautiful brand new uniforms, hey, let's start with a shout out here. A shout out to Anya Levine, bass drum player for these Marching Blue Devils. She is the granddaughter of Sonny Levine, who's back in the studio at 95.1 FM WLPZ. It's a family affair all around. Congratulations, Anya, on your last game, on your last Thanksgiving Day as well. Let's dip in the Leominster High School Marching Blue Devils and their halftime performance on this Thanksgiving morning. And that's the marching Blue Devils on this Thanksgiving morning here at historic Doyle Field at the half here on RFM Audio, WLPZ, and Leominster TV. As we continue here from historic Doyle Field, Kate is currently getting all of your halftime scores. She'll have those coming up. We'll also have our mid-game adjustments in a moment. But for those of you that didn't get a chance to catch our RFM audio special, and you were hoping to hear from Frank Novak, Leominster football legend of that 1955 game that is celebrating their 67th year today, 67th anniversary to the day of their 39-6 win over Fitchburg, a 39-7 win over Fitchburg, excuse me. Coach Novak had a message for the Blue Devils that we tucked in at the end of Recipe for a Classic. We want to run that now. It was awfully fortuitous looking if you look at it here at halftime. Blue Devils, this is Frank Novak Sr. Message to the Leominster Blue Devil team.
Understand what your role is. There are no unimportant roles. You're on the kickoff team. You're on the kickoff return team. You may not be a starter. You may just be playing a little bit as a backup linebacker, but your role matters. And your legacy for this in this game will reflect how you play. Don't underestimate. Make sure you understand what your assignment is, and make sure you understand what you can anticipate from the guy that you're matched up with. Also, do more than what's expected of you. If you're running the lead draw, 24 lead draw, and you're the lead back for Encarnacion, and you got the linebacker and you blocked him, don't be satisfied with just blocking him. Go up and get the safety. Do more than what's expected of you. That's what the great ones do. And that is the hallmark. That is the standard bearer of being a great player.
Do more than what is expected of you, says Frank Novak Sr. And, well, Bill Thomas, Leominster's had a number of players that have done more than were expected of them in the first half.
Absolutely. I mean, true words couldn't be spoken. You block that first guy, don't give up on that. Go look for that second guy to block because your running back's behind you. He's going to need help. Play to the whistle. Great words by a great coach and just a great person. It's, listening to him coming to the banquet year after year, the pre-Thanksgiving banquet, it's a pleasure, and the support that he continues to lend to the community, the football team in general, and just good philosophy of how to be a good person. A lot of it starts in discipline and what you learn on the football field and how you treat others. That carries on into life. He's a great leader and a great mentor, and truer words were never spoken.
If you didn't get an opportunity to catch our Recipe for a Classic special, it's available on demand right now on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. It will also be part of a replay throughout the weekend on 95.1 FM WLPZ on Saturday, as well as Tucker 56 Radio and Tucker56radio.com on Sunday. So all that to come. And we will have the complete 1 hour and 5 minute special with Frank Novak coming up next week on these same RFM platforms, YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch.
And just to complete his thought, the Blue Devils are playing that way today because especially if you got Mackay Newton behind you, he's not giving up. He's coming up behind you. He's going to run up your back. So you hold those blocks and look for somebody else to block, and good things will happen. And we're seeing that today.
And thus far it has, and opened up some great opportunities for Leominster down the field as well. Lots of classics going on all across the regions. Whether you call it a classic or you call it a turkey bowl, Kate Robbins is standing by with your complete halftime scoreboard. Kate.
Got 2 seconds left on the halftime clock. The band's still playing.
I was going to say, they got a late start. I think that halftime clock was a hope
Fitchburg ran over, so Leominster's just paying it back. That's all.
It was a hope for situation. Kate, those halftime scores all across the region.
The band is on the field.
Indeed it is.
The band is on the field. Still. All right, let's take a look at Wednesday, November the 23rd, around the region. Last night, St. John's of Shrewsbury a victor over Malden Catholic, 56-20 the final there. North Middlesex a victor over Myasabet Valley Aztecs, 55-28 the final there. Monty Tech a victor last night over Neshoba Valley Tech, 44-8 that final. Worcester Tech beats Abbey Kelly last night, 26-6. St. Bernard's beats St. Paul's out at Assumption College for the Bishop's Cup, 48-20 the final in that one. South High beats Worcester North, 48-16 the final there. And then the 100th meeting between Watertown and Belmont. Watertown comes out a victor, 21-17 21-7 out at Fenway Park in Boston. Not a shabby venue for their 100th meeting.
And got a chance to watch that one on the stream from Fenway Park. Let's just put a bug in everyone's ear. Leominster and Fitchburg need to move one game there 1 year in the future and be a part of that tradition. What a sight. The sounds from Fenway Park and the opportunities for local broadcast exist. So it is certainly not a broadcast perspective that is holding up that move to Fenway Park. Kate continues on the halftime scoreboard.
Now let's take a look at today's slate right now at the half. Oxford on top of Bay Path 20-6 at this point. Algonquin right now on top of Westboro 17-7 at the half there. No surprise here at the end of one. The score between Wachusett and Shrewsbury, 21-7. Wachusett on top of Shrewsbury. Wachusett has just been the class of Central Mass year in and year out. Right now, Marlboro on top of Hudson, 14-0 at the half. Neshoba right now in the second quarter, 14-7. Neshoba right now on top of Clinton at the half. Maynard on top of West Boylston, 28-6. Oakmont right now beating Lunenburg, 21-14 at the half. Air Shirley on top of Littleton right now in the second quarter, 14-7. Quabbin and Gardner at the halftime score. Quabbin on top of Gardner, 20-14. Murdoch is up by 1 against Narragansett at the half, 23-22. Bill Thomas, here's a score for you. The Woolies of Millbury right now at the half, beating the Gators of Grafton, 17-13. Did Grafton put the JV team out?
They do have a Super Bowl appearance coming up.
Indeed, they do.
I tell you, St. Bernard's didn't hold anything back last night.
Nope.
Irregardless of their Super Bowl appearance, and we wondered how that was going to affect them. Damian Jones just had a whale of a ball game, like he's had a whale of a
West
season.
Boylston definitely put in the second teamers right now. They're trailing 28-6 at the half.
They know what they got a tall task facing the Benadians, so. But the Benadians are tuned up and ready to go, and they proved it last night.
You got that right.
Our friend Tom Flanagan took a poll out there on Twitter. He wanted to know what would you do? What should you do if you have a Super Bowl coming up and you have a Thanksgiving game? I think that answer was made awfully clear by St. Bernard's. You play the players. I say you play the players. It's a Thanksgiving rivalry.
We've got the canned food drive announcement.
The canned food drive result, Kate, is out at midfield. 2 new principals is part of this rivalry this year. Josh Romano from Leominster High School, their new principal. Tanya Jarrett, the new principal from Fitchburg High School. And upon further consultation, the Red Raiders have won the canned food drive, and Tanya Jarrett pumps the canned food drive trophy high in the air. And the Red Raiders will take it back to Arnhow with that win today as well.
Great effort for a great cause.
Absolutely. Chance to restock those food pantries. The teams are back on the field. The bands
Pat
are
never
now
let that happen.
Off the field.
Never would have let that happen.
Understandable. I certainly can say that.
Finally got the band off the field.
Never.
The bands have completed their performances. They were both great halftime performances. I got to be honest, Bill Thomas, I think they just put the wrong amount of time on the clock. Well, Thanksgiving halftime is always longer.
And people need to play a little bit of a competitive rivalry.
They gave them 20 minutes.
I know. Hey, what's the rush? Where do we all have to go?
Where do we got to go?
Turkey's in the oven. People are basting. It's all good. Just keep basting and listen to the action right here. That's all that matters. We'll have it before all of your afternoon football games as well. Kickoff is away. Second half of action. Leominster with a 20-0 halftime lead. The kick goes from right to left. It will be returned by Dorian Wells across the 25 and spun out of bounds at the Red Raider 30-yard line.
I think
they actually moved back,
push him back.
He stepped up.
They're not giving him anywhere
26, 27.
He was being spun around, but luckily he didn't get spun around out of bounds there. But good job by the coverage team for Blue Devils, putting Fitchburg back deep in their own territory here, and they got to find some way to score points. This drive might be the most important drive of the game for the Red Raiders.
Well, Bill Thomas, let's talk mid-game adjustments. If you're the Red Raiders, and I agree with you, this is the most important drive of the football game right now. This is must-have points time. If not, you're heading toward one of those 3 shutouts that have happened in the last handful of years. What do you do?
Yeah, and it's 6 quarters plus now that Fitchburg hasn't scored against the Blue Devils. And, yeah, mid-game adjustments, Red Raiders got to find a way to get points on the board, and they got to do it in this drive.
High snap, fielded by Bolak. Give the handoff to the motion man. It's Medina. He's stretching the play along the 26-yard line, and he is tackled for a short loss back to the 25. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
Mackay Newton running sideline to sideline there and using his speed to make that tackle before the ball carrier makes the corner. Turns into a 1-yard loss, a tackle for a loss right there. Good job by Newton.
Bolak makes the long run in after consulting with Christian Lopez, offensive coordinator for the Red Raiders, has to make the run into this right hash. 2nd down and 11 from their own 25-yard line, going left to right, and just a minute gone by in this third quarter, chasing a Leominster 20-0 advantage. Two-back backfield, the snap, 2 fakes, tries to avoid the rush, does. Now the throw underneath, a collision, and an almost interception. Viola and Aguilar collided. The intended receiver was Josh Medina, and Viola, despite the collision, almost still made the interception.
Yeah, Viola back there playing center field in the safety position, closed on that, had his eyes on the quarterback all the way, watching the receiver cutting across the middle. Too much traffic right there, though, at the point of contact. Great effort, though.
3rd down and 11 on a must-have drive for the Red Raiders here in this first part of the second half, Kate.
The cadence is ground to
I tell you, it's really, it's like
an absolute
way too no sense of urgency on the Red Raiders' part, but they know how important this drive is and this play.
I'm sure if you're over on the other sideline and you are the red and gray, you're sitting there saying you can't get 20 points back in one play. You've got to have some points here. 3rd and 11. Back to pass, Bolak. Look left, throw into double coverage. Looking for Medina again, but it's incomplete. And Ricky Encarnacion came up underneath to deflect that one away.
Yeah.
And it will bring up 4th down and long.
Playing that other safety position. It's basically a center field right there, but looked like the receiver there, who was that? Medina ended up playing defense at the end because Ricky had that corralled, but Medina, good job of tearing it away from him.
Check of the second half time and temperature. 43 degrees, feels like 51 on an absolutely picturesque Thanksgiving Thursday, November the 24th, 11:24 a.m. on this Thanksgiving Thursday, November 24th.
I like when the wind chill's always up.
4th down and 11. The punt away for Silvestri. Crosses midfield, hops at the Leominster 39-yard line, releases on a Fitchburg bounce across the 35 and checks up at the 34-yard line, and that's where Leominster will have the football. 1st down and 10, their own 34, going right to left, wearing the home royal blue tops, white bottoms, trimmed in white and royal blue. White numerals front and back, devils across the chest, the pitchfork at the nameplate, and the classic Leominster white helmet, white face mask with the single royal blue stripe. For the Red Raiders, wearing their home color as well, the brick red tops with the steel gray bottoms, the steel gray helmet with the brick red face mask and the Fitchburg logo on either side of their helmets. 1st down and 10, and the give is for Newton. Comes straight up the left hash, cross the 35, and turned aside at the 40 to the 41-yard line. And Newton comes out of the locker room here in the second half and gains 8 right away.
He comes out of the locker room just like he went in the locker room. Give me the ball. I'm going to put us in good position on 2nd and 3rd down, and just keep feeding me. And I tell you, the Red Raiders defense does not have an answer for Newton today.
On 2nd down, 4 receivers set. Lopez back to pass. Now he asks for a block. Newton gives the block, crosses midfield, and then steps out of bounds at the 49-yard line. It is enough for a Leominster 1st down for Osiris Lopez. I was trying to figure out what that sound was, and I've just realized that was an electric guitar.
Yeah, it is.
I'm like, where is that noise coming from as I'm looking at all of our equipment? No, that was a riff on an electric guitar.
It's a gain of 8 on the play.
Indeed,
nice job by Lopez there. Directing traffic, almost made it look like he was going to flare that ball out to Newton. Used him as a blocker, a little bit of deception there. Picked up a nice 1st down.
I told you they're playing through action on both sides.
Indeed, I hadn't heard the electric guitar. On 1st down and 10, the handoff is for Newton. Newton spins out to the right. He gets turned aside back at the point of attack. The 46-yard line. It'll be no gain. 2nd down and 10 at the Red Raider 46-yard line. Leominster going right to left. In this third quarter, 9:40 to play in the third. Halftime score is where we're at, 20-0 Leominster.
And, I heard some of your pregame discussions with Coach Gates about maybe a gimmick play here and there. The way Newton kind of lopes and wanders out there on that sweep and pulls the defense in, I wonder if he can throw the ball, because I tell you, great opportunity for an option pass there.
2nd down and a short 10. Lopez fakes the give and keeps it himself. Takes it out to the left edge. Gang tackled, crossing the 40 to the 37-yard line.
I don't know if you noticed that he ran up on the back of John Escabi, doing a great job pulling from his center position. But Lopez, get out of my way, pushed him into the blocker.
That's the dual threat. But giddy up.
Yeah, pushed him into the blocker. I was like, hey, I'm coming through.
Remember,
up his back.
We've talked about this before. It's hard enough to have that shotgun snap from Escabi, who's had a phenomenal year with that, but then to pull hard to get out to the left edge and be the lead blocker going into the second level. Great play today thus far, and that has certainly worked. And there's a little dance in and out, trying to follow Encarnacion, who was the motion man, and Ephraim Nepo danced into the line, and it will be a 5-yard penalty for an offside call, and it will result in a Leominster first down.
No, this has got to be a procedure. Oh, they're going the wrong way here. I saw, I usually don't put names out there, but I saw Logan Ossie kind of pop up there a little early, and then all right, you got me. But maybe it was moving on the opposite side of the ball.
It gets called so rarely.
Maybe he got distracted. If you can't do that defensively, you jump and you make the offensive player move. They're going to call it on the defense. You used to be able to get away with that, get a reaction.
1st and 10 for Leominster after the penalty at the Red Raider 32-yard line left hash. Lopez back to pass, double move. Now he's got Drinkwater, beat the defender into the end zone for a Leominster touchdown. A 32-yard touchdown strike, and the bow and arrow celebration is out as Lopez lobs it downfield and right into the belly of Drinkwater for 6 more Leominster points.
And Drinkwater was looking back and pointing and waiting for that ball 10 yards down the field. He knew he had his guy beat right from the snap, and Lopez looked up. Sorry, had 5 yards on the defender. Perfectly thrown ball.
That was
Lopez
too easy.
Just wandered. Drinkwater just wandered into the end zone.
8:08 to play in the third quarter, and it's Leominster 26 and Fitchburg nothing. Thompson to attempt the point after, kicking toward the Morton Street end of Doyle Field. Snap, Aguilar puts the ball down, and Thompson sends this one up to the fans who gather annually on that Morton Street hill. Good. Back upfield come the teams. 8:08 to play here in the third quarter, and Leominster's advantage is 27-0.
Yeah, I think the last thing the Red Raiders wanted to see was have Leominster score the first points of the second half, especially where they were looking for that 2-1. They had that possession at the end of the first half, couldn't convert on it, got this open in possession here in the second half, couldn't do anything with it, and then Leominster just comes down and puts points on the board.
And Bill Thomas, we've talked about the kind of the fits and runs and spurts in this series. If you go back to the playings all the way back to 2010, which is what I'm carrying here with me today in this series, there are a lot more Leominster wins than there are Fitchburg. Fitchburg in this series, whether you're talking about playoffs, whether you're talking about this newer format in the recent years where they've played twice a year once again on a regularly scheduled basis, or on Thanksgiving, there have been 3 wins for Fitchburg since 2010.
A total of about 13 games, maybe. I'm doing some quick look at there, but you're right. Leominster's dominating the series, but the last couple of years it's evened
15.
out a little bit. But it's going on 6+ quarters. Fitchburg hasn't been able to break the Leominster goal line.
Dorian Wells on the return after this kick from right to left. Full head of steam, 25, 30, 35, down at the 36-yard line. It's a 1st and 10 for Fitchburg. Their own 36 coming left to right. And I make that historical note because people are saying, well, geez, in order to have a rivalry, you've got to have 2 vigorous rivals in order to be a part of this game. Take no historical note in the fact that Fitchburg has struggled this last 15 meetings, because guess what? If you go all the way back to the early part of this series, it was Fitchburg dominance in that early 1800s, time window when this series actually started, late 1800s, 1890s, and then obviously into the early 1900s to the 1920s. Fitchburg really dominated this series, and then, of course, Leominster played their way into the series. Doyle Field gets invented and the whole bit. So this is really it's a historical trend, but it's not a permanent trend in this series.
Yeah, and you see when you match them up the way you do in red and blue, you see a lot of stretch of red on the winning side, then blue. But you're right, it goes back and forth. But look at the history; it's almost 50-50. Yeah, Leominster's got about an 8 or 10 game, margin over the course of 140 games or whatever. But great history, and this series typically swings back and forth.
70 wins, 61 losses, 10 ties all time. Favors the blue and white. Short gain on first. Now here comes a 2nd down and 9. Leominster showing blitz into the line. Back to pass. Bolak hits the slant from Medina. Coming from his left. Causes a defensive collision. Crossing midfield at the Leominster 45. And Medina to the Leominster 41-yard line. It's a gain of 22. And just like that, the Red Raiders have got something going.
But Bolak standing tall in there in the face of the rush, hitting that slant. That's been the only successful play to speak of today, is that quick slant. Bolak basically has had no time to stand back there and let his receivers release, but that's been a play that's been successful. The Blue Devils going to have to watch for that, maybe stack the middle, bring the outside linebackers out a little bit, and get away from allowing that to happen.
Didn't have a stopwatch on it, Bill Thomas, but that felt like that was catch and throw, less than a second from the catch of the ball to the release. That's what Fitchburg's going to have to do. RPO there, kept by Bolak, takes it straight forward across the 40 and battles his way up to the Leominster 37-yard line. A strong 4, 2nd down and 6.
Good job right there. Picking up something on 1st down, and that keeper by Gio Roman all over that run-pass option there, but he was on the running back and doing his job. The rest of the defense did their job.
6:08 and counting to play here in the 3rd quarter, 27-0, Leominster's advantage. Red Raiders trying to get something going here in the middle of the 3rd. Bolak will head up under center in a 4-receiver set, single back behind him. Goes slot screen high, and it is incomplete. It was a forward pass. Josh Nardi was the intended receiver, slot to the left.
Very close to being a lateral, about a yard downfield, but yeah, a little high there, and I'm not sure that play was going to go for much. He's going to kind of get his wide receiver lit up out there.
Yeah,
defenders were on it. Yeah, defenders were all over that. And that high pass is one of the scariest things as a receiver reaching. You know you're about to get a lick.
And you're defenseless.
You've talked about the slants working, Bill Thomas. Certainly the slant to Medina has worked. You got 4 receivers in the formation. Start slanting everybody and just quickly start firing the football
If
off.
you don't have time to set up back there, you got to do something.
Single wing set and forward went
Well, where
Bolak.
was the
A flag comes flying out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Something about that didn't seem to work, but I've got to imagine also, by the way, Gio Roman had a face mask full of Lucas Bolak. If this play is legal, add 15 on the end of it. Personal foul, major face mask against Leominster. Added it to the end of the play. It'll be a 1st down. I'm not even sure what happened on the play, if I'm going to be honest with you. There was a snap, everybody stood up, and then he kind of ran forward.
I think Bolak in the center were the only 2 on that keeper, quarterback sneak. That's
moved.
all they need to know. Nobody else needs to move. It's a legal snap.
Okay.
And it worked, and he got some extra yardage on the penalty there.
But the turn of Bolak's head, and you saw Gio Roman had reached out. He was reaching for anything. He grabbed the face mask and spun him around, and when I saw the flag come, I said, that's a 15-yard for a major face mask if we got a legal play, and we did. It is a 1st down for the Red Raiders. Deepest penetration into Leominster territory in this football game. 1st and 10 from the Leominster 20, and Bolak keeps again. He stepped in the bear trap known as Josh Cormier, and Cormier slows him up, and the rest of the Blue Devils will join to finish him off after a gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Good job, though. I think at this point Bolak knows that he's got to relieve that pressure somehow. If it's running keepers, just to slow down that rush. Somewhere to just slow down the Blue Devils or on-rushing front 4, front 5 by a step or 2 and give them a little extra time to look downfield.
Passing the 5-minute mark here of the 3rd quarter, 4:50 and counting, a 27-0 Leominster advantage, and the Red Raiders putting some plays together here.
The other thing that they're doing, starting to take some time off the clock. Their previous longest drive was only 3 minutes in length. They're already almost at 4 minutes on this drive. Leominster hasn't touched the ball for a few minutes.
10 seconds on the play clock. Coach Devin Gates down on the sideline. He had his hand up for 10 seconds on the play clock a while ago. Bolak back to pass. Looks, end zone, spinning move into the end zone. The catch is made, and Harvey Early has the Red Raiders on the board. There is a flag out at the end of the play. I believe this will be a post-score penalty. It's a personal foul, roughing the passer against Leominster, and it will be enforced on the kickoff. Bolak finds Harvey Early, and the Red Raiders strike. 4:22 to play here in the 3rd quarter, and it's 27-6.
Good job by Bolak standing in there and throwing a strike to that corner. Not a lot of room to work, but Fitchburg finds a way to get on the board, and they needed that desperately.
And the Red Raiders will have to make a choice here. It appears they are going to go for 2, so they're going to send Bolak back to the huddle. Offense stays on the field. They move to the hash left. And they will make a 2-point conversion attempt here at the 4:22 mark of the third quarter, looking to pile up points here. Gonzalez is in the backfield with Bolak in a shotgun set. 3 receivers in the formation, 2 at the wide left. Widest right is Medina. Snap, give it to Gonzalez. Takes it off the tackle on the left and into the end zone. 2-point conversion is good. Back upfield come the teams. 4:22 to play here in the third quarter. And it is Leominster 27 and Fitchburg 8, breaking a 6-quarter scoreless streak for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, they got to feel good about that drive, but basically Bolak just said, get on my shoulders, get on my back, and I'm taking us down the field, and that's what he did, with his arm at the end, but did a lot of that drive work with his legs.
Kate, you've got the Red Raider scoring drive.
I certainly do. It was 3.5 minutes long. I'm scrolling back up here. 7 plays, covered 64 yards. It's capped off by that 17-yard touchdown reception by Harvey early. The 2-point conversion is good. 8 points now on the board for Fitchburg. It's 27-8, advantage Blue Devils.
And remember, there is a 15-yard penalty coming on this kickoff. The Red Raiders will kick off from the Leominster side of midfield at the Leominster 45-yard line. So a good placement here would lead to Leominster being pinned deep or potentially with the touchback coming back out. The kicker on this play, Bill Thomas, was actually going, what are we doing here? This is Ephraim Anipo doing the kicking, and he looked at the referee going, why are we here? And now the Red Raiders, sensing some confusion with their kickoff team, they spend a timeout on a kickoff following their best score and best drive of the football game. 27-8 is our score, and this just kills any momentum.
I got to tell you what they're looking at here. Great spot for an onside kick. And I wouldn't be at all surprised, because if it doesn't work, you're not really giving up half the field to field position. I wouldn't be at all surprised if they're not talking. Watch out for the onside kick. We'll see if they got their hands team up front here on this front line.
Not only that, but if there was confusion on the kickoff, and with the short field, if you let somebody downfield like Encarnacion have a short field to work with, if he gets by one level, it's 6 points. So I think it's wise by the coaching staff for Fitchburg, if there's any confusion whatsoever, number one, if they want to have an onside kick opportunity, take a second, explain it. Or if there was confusion, I'm not giving somebody like Ricky Encarnacion confusion on the opposition. A short field, one level, and he's gone.
And open lanes would be
and let's go back
as well.
To Coach Novak's words. Hold that block and look for somebody else to block. You might only have to block one person here to break your returner because of that short window right there that you got to beat the opposition.
Nepo's got the ball on the tee at the 45-yard line, now to our right, kicking from left to right. It is an onside kick attempt. It does turn. It ends in the Red Raider pack. Nobody's picked up the ball.
Didn't go far enough.
And now the Red Raiders have picked it up, and
it went 6 yards.
It did, in fact, but I mean, everyone's standing around. That's a live ball.
No,
it's a live ball until somebody touches it.
Nope, not on the offense. You got to touch it. You don't want the offense jumping in there.
Fair enough. That's true, I guess.
That's why they all held their line at the 10-yard line.
Everyone just stood there.
Well, you don't have to run up till the ball gets to you.
I guess.
We'll have a rules
Well, I guess there'll be a rules committee meeting. I'm like, why? Somebody at least do something.
And there was no illegal touch. And there was no illegal touch, and so there was no flag.
So the play has not begun yet. All right, I'll buy that. That's fine.
With no action.
With nothing actually happening. Yeah. Leominster got the ball right where it died, and so it is 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. And they give it to Newton straight into the teeth of the defense. He does gain 2, maybe 3 on the play.
4.
Maybe 4. Yeah, they're moving him up still. We'll move the football to the 44-yard line, so call it 2nd down and 6 to go.
Let's go back to that play, though. I like the idea. Let's try to see if we can get a double here. And,
absolutely. You got to try something.
Field position notwithstanding, the 10, 15 yards probably doesn't make that much difference offensively, but if somehow the Red Raiders could have found a way to get that ball back, then with momentum, but it didn't happen for them.
They give him a gain of 5, 2nd down and 5, and now a flag comes out on the play.
Who moved? What do we got? They didn't even look like they got set in the line of scrimmage. They're already throwing the flag on a procedure.
Yeah, it was procedure call. I was going to say it. It's very odd.
Procedure without getting set.
Move the ball back across the 40 to the 39-yard line. And it's 2nd down and 10. Leominster will need the 49-yard line their own for a first down. Basically gave back anything they had gained on the first down play. Play action fake, looks over the middle of the field, looking for Encarnacion, and Dorian Wells with a timely hit separates Encarnacion from a chance to catch the football.
Yeah, nice looking play, but Lopez a little early on the delivery there. Needed to let Ricky come out of his break on top of the ball, a little bit low, but nice idea, and there was no other safety back there. Ricky beats that guy on the inside, and he runs to that far pylon. I think he's dancing around with 6.
3:12 to play here in the third quarter. 27-8 is Leominster's advantage. And a third down and 10 from their own 38-yard line, middle of the field, going right to left. Lopez back to pass, hangs, he's got all day. Middle of the field and intercepted. Dorian Wells was there. Wells returns from left to right, cross midfield and down at the Leominster 47-yard line. Lopez had all day long, and he tried to force that one into Encarnacion when Drinkwater was downfield, Bill Thomas, and wide open.
Wide open, running that same go pattern, that big slant, and Drinkwater's got speed on this cornerback out here, and he beats him off the ball, but yeah, Lopez never saw him. Tries to force it into Encarnacion over here on the near sideline, gets picked off. A lot of traffic over here, and just one of those things, you just didn't see him breaking. Thought he had him on the get-go.
Youthful exuberance,
Thought he
friends.
had him on the snap, but looked off him and then tried to force it in.
First turnover for the Blue Devils offense. They're still winning the turnover battle 3-1.
Comes at the 3:01 mark of the third quarter. Red Raiders coming off their first score. Now they get a turnover. And out of an I formation, Gonzalez gets the handoff. Cormier with the tackle after the gain of a yard to the Leominster 45-yard line.
I like the way Josh gets up with that exuberance, like that little, nope, that's it. Gives those crossed arms, like, nope, no good. That play didn't work. Comes up smiling. He's got those yellow gloves on that you cannot miss. I love it.
Second down and 9 from the Leominster 45-yard line at right hash. Bolak runs in across the running devil over the blocked L.
This is pretty much where the Red Raiders would have got the ball in that onside kick. So
more or less.
They got to do something right here. They lost maybe a minute on the clock, but they got to make this pay.
Two backs in the backfield. Just one receiver is wide to the left. Bolak, snap, roll to the left. Receiver runs around. It was Medina. He ran and out to the sideline, then turned it upfield and was long and incomplete. Bolak looking for him. Two downfield in coverage was Aguilar and Viola.
Now, Billy, you can see Bolak. He's clearly aware. Receive ball, get rid of ball as quickly as possible because my O-line is crumbling in front of me. You saw him try to get out to that outside of the left tackle and just go. The problem is that his receivers have had no time to get downfield. He's trying, but the only thing working, like you said, is that slant pass that he can get rid of quick.
Yeah, and he just kind of threw that up there and hoped, and he's throwing against his body and being chased by Ossie at the same time.
3rd and 9 from the Leominster 45. Bolak directing traffic. Two receivers wide to the left.
Looking for a
Bolak
jump
with the hard count. Nobody moved, and now a flag comes out.
Oh, my favorite one. There
for
it
a
is.
delay of game, and I'll say this, Kate, typically Doyle Field known for its fast-moving play clock. Today, they've been keeping the play clock with a very, very slow-moving hourglass.
You know what? Sometimes you're the bug, and sometimes you're the windshield.
Indeed, and I can see the Leominster team has been like, come on, this pace has been fairly antithetical throughout this football game, and now trying to get a little momentum going here, but the Red Raiders taking their time to set things up. 3rd down and long, they face about a 3rd and 13 from midfield. And now flags kill the play, and it's a procedure against the Red Raiders, and a flag fest has ensued, so switch the 5 yards back.
Add 5 more.
And back we go
Add
to the 45-yard line.
Going to bring up 3rd and forever here.
Yeah, now it's 3rd and double 6 here, more
Third
or less.
all the way down to Christian, way down there.
I was going to say.
I know, he's getting lonesome down there.
Yes.
On the stick to gain.
Wearing his Blue Devil varsity jacket with pride, however.
Indeed, needs to get the 37 to the Red Raiders. Long field throw, cross, Brian Aguilar steps in front of Medina, and it's an interception. He eludes the returnman. Now up the sideline, it's Aguilar. He runs out of real estate going right to left across the Red Raider 25 and out of bounds at the 20-yard line. It's Brian Aguilar with the interception, and a 36-yard return on the play.
I'd call that a takeaway, Todd, because he just ripped that away from the receiver's hands. 50-50 battle that he ended up winning. And I thought he was headed to the end zone. He ran into some traffic down and ended up stepping out of bounds, but great job right there. And we expect nothing less.
4 turnovers now for Red Raiders.
And if you're going to go into the long end of the field like that with Bolak, it's got to be with some zip. It's got to be on its point, and that one had a little bit of a hook in that, kind of shot out toward the far side of the field. And Aguilar danced a little bit. He wasn't sure he wanted to jump the route,
Billy,
and then made the decision to do it.
Best starting field position for the Blue Devils.
1st and 10 from the Red Raider 21. Shotgun set going right to
Newton's
left.
Give it to Newton.
Newton gets the blocks, lining up in front of him. Got the sideline and in. A 19-yard touchdown scamper after the 4th Red Raider turnover on the day. And Leominster's lead expands again. 1:05 to play in the 3rd. It's Leominster 33 and Fitchburg 8.
And that's the way you cash the check. Just like that. No messing around. No wasting any time. Put those points on the board. Let's play on.
Dan Thompson will attempt the point after, and Aguilar will hold. Aguilar had the interception to set that one up, and Newton pays it in the end zone for 6 more. Thompson will be kicking toward the Morton Street end here of Doyle Field from right to left. Aguilar asks for the ball, down on the tee, and it is driven up and through. Back upfield come the teams. 1:05 to play in this 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic.
It's only the 3rd quarter.
It is 34-8.
1:05 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Thank you.
No, it feels like we've had 2 games worth of action, though, Todd and Kate.
Indeed it does. It has been ongoing here, to say the least.
But I tell you, Blue Devils got the ball. That feeling of lethargic and quicksand went away real quick. As soon as they got the ball, they found a way to pick the crowd up, put points on the board, and everybody's back into it on this side of the field.
Well, indeed it is. I mean, and that's been kind of the interesting part about the way this game has developed, Bill Thomas, is that, Leominster looked like through a couple of turnovers, perhaps they would fall behind this Red Raider team if they were able to stack up those, back-to-back possessions. They wouldn't be able to give up the lead, but maybe in this half, the Red Raiders trying to, again, what's the goal? Try to win this half or win this quarter, win this drive. They won the first one.
Win this series.
And then the second drive, after you get it right back, you give it right back, and Leominster turns around and pays it off in the end zone.
Leominster 14 quick points here in this 3rd quarter when it felt like Fitchburg was about to take control.
Thompson on the approach, 40-yard line at our right. He'll send the kick spiraling on end to the 25-yard line where it will be returned. Head of steam for Wells into the middle of the pile at the 35-yard line and spins out of that one. It was actually Malachi Marion for Wells on that return, 16, not 15, and a return of 11 for Marion. Red Raiders, we'll call it about their average field position because it's about where they've started most of their drives, 1st and 10 around their own 35-yard line plus or minus a yard or two, and this is about what they've been working with, about 65 yards of field in front of them.
Yeah, and now they're chasing 4+ scores, Todd, and they can't mess around. 3 yards in a cloud of dust and Bolak running for his life is not going to cut it right now. They got to find a way to get downfield quick.
And it's 1st and 10 for the Red and Gray at their own 35, going left to right. Bolak looking around, play sets up, single wing set with 3 receivers.
That broke.
Indeed, he tried to reach it back to the line, and Keegan Amarasinga will wrap him up and take him down at the point of attack. No gain on the play.
Bill Thomas, it was obvious he was looking for a rusher in the backfield, and when Lucas Bolak turned around, he said, and I'm by myself.
Yes, apparently somebody he thought was going to be there wasn't, and the guy that was in motion continued out to the left side. He was left all alone.
2nd down and 10 to go. Coming up for Fitchburg. Bolak into his huddle. 25 seconds and counting left here in this 3rd quarter. The Red Raiders showing no sense of urgency here. They are sticking with that tried and true 1 foot in front of the other mentality. Nardi shifts in motion. The give makes it to the hands of De Leon. De Leon stretching out to the right, and he's pushed out of play.
Those snaps continue to be a problem. You don't really understand how imperative that center to quarterback exchange is, and because Bolak is rarely, if ever, under center, he's getting that high snap, and it's just that one extra beat of the clock that messes up the timing, not only with his receivers, but certainly with everybody in his backfield.
Bill Goslin holds the ball up, indicating the conclusion of the third quarter. 34-8, Leominster on top of Fitchburg in the classic 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic. Teams change ends, the all-important fourth and final quarter when we continue here on RFM and with our partners. Live at 95.1 FM, WLPZ and WLPZ.org. Live on Comcast, Verizon, and Leominster.tv with our partners at Leominster TV as well. Bradley Bedard and Keith DePerry on duty for Leominster TV today. Todd Robbins alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins. Great to be with you and spend some of your Thanksgiving morning together here on our myriad of partners. And of course, replays of this one will be available. Leominster TV's got a replay queued up of this action at 6 o'clock tonight on the channels of Leominster TV. All weekend long at our partners, you will have complete replays of the broadcast week here for Thanksgiving, including our Coaches' Corners with both coaches, Recipe for a Classic, and the game action. Saturday on 95.1 FM, WLPZ and WLPZ.org. And then on Sunday, Dick Tucker and Tucker 56 Radio, Tucker56radio.com has your complete Thanksgiving week replay. And here come the Red Raiders as they turn around. 3rd down and 12 as they go right to left here. Back to pass, it's Bolak, hits Medina at the original line of scrimmage, gains back what was lost and out of bounds at their own 35-yard line. They will have 4th down and 10 to go. Just 15 seconds into this fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I don't think the Red Raiders have any choice here. You punt away, you give up 20, 30 yards in field position, but that's not what you're worried right now. You got to get a first down, figure out a way to keep this drive going. It's not about stopping the Blue Devils right now. It's about getting yourself going.
How many plays are on your call sheet for 4th and 10 from your own 35?
Probably only a handful. They haven't, I think, maybe 3 or 4 plays that have gotten more than 10 yards, but they need one now.
2 receivers at the wide left, 1 into the boundary right. Bolak goes with a hard count. Nobody moves, checks the wristband, looks at his line, and asks for the ball on the second clap. 4th down. Space opens up, middle of the field. He will take it straight up across the 40, looking for the 45, and he may have fallen forward close to the 45-yard line.
Wow.
But the stick looks like it's just on the other side of the 45. He may be short by a half a yard, but no. Bill Goslin comes up, takes a look, and says, that is the line to gain. It's a first down, Red Raiders, and the drive continues.
Goose isn't taking out the piece of paper to check that.
No. Heck of a spot right there, though, for the Red Raiders. And nice job by the Blue Devils defense. I thought they stood them up about a yard short, but forward momentum got them that first down.
1st and 10 at their own 45, and the drive continues. 10:22 to play in the fourth quarter. Leominster's 34-8 advantage.
Give Bolak all the credit right there, too.
4 receivers and a single back to pass. It's Bolak, hits the screen for Medina. Medina comes forward, across the 45, and moves the football to around the 49-yard line. Gains 3, maybe 4 on the play. 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, I'm not too sure that was actually a forward pass that time, Todd. Straight across the field here. Close one way or the other, but receiver corralled it, no question about whether you get some yardage out of it, but risky play right there. I almost thought he was going to turn and throw the ball downfield the way that play looked like it was developing.
Trickeration, Bill Thomas?
Yeah. It looked like Medina was thinking about repositioning the ball maybe on that play in his hand, but instead took it up the hash marks himself. 2nd down and 6 to go. They need the Leominster 45-yard line for a first down.
Hard counts aren't working right now.
They're not.
Waiting.
3 receivers set, 1 wide to the right, 2 short to the left. High snap, Bolak makes the catch and then just gets rid of it, trying to find Medina on the comeback route, but it is high, out of bounds, and incomplete.
And we saw everything on that one play that we've talked about the entire time that has plagued Fitchburg.
Yep.
The high snap, the throwing off of the timing, and then not having a receiver come open because you've spent half of that play, just getting yourself under control. When you look at a football play, 2, 3, 4 seconds, 5 is a long play, 5 seconds for a quarterback to be doing things. When you lose a half a second, that's about 20% of your play thought. in the
Got to hold your blocks that much longer.
The timing can be incredibly messed up.
3rd down, 6 to go. Bolak the snap. The handoff this time finds De Leon. De Leon crosses midfield and pierces his way to the 48-yard line of Leominster. So add 2 more, and it'll be 4th down and 4 to go. Still needing the Leominster 45-yard line for a reset of downs.
Cormier and Cora tag teaming on that tackle right there.
Bill Thomas, we talk about that exchange once again, and because it's simply not a given that it's going to be exchanged from the center to the quarterback for the Red Raiders cleanly, poor, Lucas Bolak is on every single play having to, essentially worry and wonder if he's going to get the ball cleanly.
And Bolak finds himself in a shotgun set here, and on 4th down, it's over his head and just getting kicked further and further downfield, back across the Red Raider 30 to the 27-yard line, and that will be a turnover on downs, and the ball back to Leominster. 1st and 10 at the Red Raider 27-yard line, and that may be all she wrote for the Red and Gray today.
Well, I think that puts an exclamation point on what the Red Raiders' troubles have been today. Really, that exchange from center and that shotgun and pistol set, and it's just the offense has been a step slow and a step behind for the Red Raiders. Once that snap is offline, you're chasing the rest of the play.
And you can't ask Bolak to do any more than he's been doing.
Get him up under center, but then you're going to get run over by the defense.
Logan Arce did jump on that one, Bill Thomas, as he slid forward. 5-yard penalty.
Now he's pleading his case.
That is correct. Ball back across the Red Raider 30 to the 33-yard line.
You didn't call me last time when I did that. Why now?
Thought it was the other guy. Not so much. Leominster will need the Fitchburg 18-yard line for a 1st down. Lopez in the backfield with Encarnacion and Newton, and 2 receivers out in the formation. Give it to Ricky Encarnacion. Newton holds the first block. Encarnacion out to the numbers. Turns it upfield. Jumps his way forward to a stop at the 25-yard line, eluding multiple defenders on his way. And they move him across the 25 to the 24-yard line. Gains back everything that was lost on the penalty plus 3 more. So give him a gain of 8, and it's 2nd down and looks like about 6 to go.
And that play looked like it was destined to be dropped at the line of scrimmage, but Encarnacion found a way to make himself skinny and slide his way through the defenders there and pick up some good positive yardage.
And he'll now go slot to the left in this 3-receiver set. 2 left, 1 to the right is Viola. Newton with Lopez out of the gun. Back to pass. Look for Encarnacion in the pylon. Encarnacion runs it down. Is his foot down? It is. And there is the dagger. A 24-yard touchdown strike. Osiris Lopez to Ricky Encarnacion.
He's going to find a way to get him one here in the second half, go out in style, but you talk about dropping that right in the basket, over the shoulder. Ricky never slowed down. Corner of the end zone, picture perfect right there. I don't care what level of football you're playing, you can't draw it up any better.
Leominster 40 and Fitchburg 8 pending the point after. 7:37 to play in this 4th quarter of the Classic.
I tell you, I love seeing the players over here dancing on the sideline and having fun with it. From freshmen to seniors, they're all having a great time today.
Thompson kicking toward the closed upper end of the field. Ball down, kick is up and no good. Thompson has struggled on this end of the field today. Back up the field come the teams. 6:50 and counting to play here in the 4th quarter. It is Leominster 40 and Fitchburg 8, and we have reached the running time window of this Classic.
Unfortunately.
And so that will...
Are you going to explain it?
Yeah, I was going to say, This is a mercy rule situation for those of you that are not with us week in and week out and join us for the Classics. When you reach this point in the series or in a game and you have exceeded a 30-point difference in the 4th quarter of the football game, it becomes running time. And there is nothing that will stop this clock.
I think injuries might, but timeouts
sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't.
Out of bounds plays, incompletions. Clock's going to continue to run. These last 6 minutes are going to just drift away. Maybe a half a dozen plays, but the game's essentially over.
Get a nice happy Thanksgiving here from an old friend on the broadcast end of things. Andre Koraskini and family says happy Thanksgiving from the Koraskinis. We love listening to you guys. Gobble, gobble. Thank you, Andre. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours as well. Have a great Thanksgiving Thursday.
I want to wish happy Thanksgiving to all YouTube listeners today. We got a nice crowd out there, and we're paying attention to you too. Thank you for joining us.
Kick goes from left to right from Thompson to Dorian Wells. He'll return it back across the 30 to the 31. And while we're handing out those happy Thanksgivings, I'll say a happy Thanksgiving to my parents, Kevin and Donna. Also, our little guy, Bill Thomas, who is with my in-laws right now. So Doug and Louise Meyer, happy Thanksgiving to you. And little Patrick, his first Thanksgiving, Bill Thomas, will be a Leominster win. Happy Thanksgiving, little Pat.
Stuff some turkey gravy in that bottle.
Absolutely as well.
Dinner's going to taste a little bit better if you're wearing blue today.
4:55 and counting on the running time end of things. 1st and 10 for the red and gray. Ball located at their own 33-yard line. Back to pass is Tyler Broussard, who has taken up the quarterback spot. He'll swing that pass complete for Medina, and Medina is slow to get up, and Yaniel Silvestri was trying to help him up, and he was actually doing more harm than good.
Swung him around like a rag doll, but once again, the only play that's worked, but really no success that time, that swing play, ended up losing 5 yards on that, Todd.
I'll finish our happy Thanksgivings. Happy Thanksgiving to my sister Ashley, her husband Travis, and our nephew Cooper, who is enjoying Thanksgiving as well. We'll see them all later on as well. And as we kind of move our way through here with the running time, we'll get this next play, and then Bill Thomas and Kate will get a chance for their happy Thanksgivings as well. Broussard in the shotgun set. Back to pass, backside pursuit. It's Gio Roman, showing you why he is the Mid-Watch League's Defensive Player of the Year. There's the sack of Tyler Broussard. And Kate, you got any messages you want to pass at this point in time?
Happy Thanksgiving to my parents and to my grandmother and to our little guy, little Pat. And Aunt Pat, we're looking forward to turkey.
Turkey's on.
Turkey's on.
We usually tell her to put the turkey on. I got to tell you, turkey's on. Getting a little long in the tooth today. Bill Thomas, how about you?
I got some friends that I play pool with, some good friends over in the Hudson and Clinton area, Liberty Tavern, over at PJ's Pub. I'm sure they're listening in. Little breakfast going on, turkey and gravy along with a cup of coffee.
Broussard is back to pass. He goes screen out to the right. It may have been a lateral, and then Dorian Wells let it hit the turf incomplete, and then they whistled it dead for an incomplete pass. Wells was the intended receiver. Friends at 95.1 FM WLPZ, Sonny Levine says happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at 95.1 FM WLPZ, and go Big Blue. And of course, you can tune in to 95.1 FM WLPZ and WLPZ.org for great information and education and entertainment for members of the community, by members of the community. On 95.1 FM WLPZ and WLPZ.org, and the great volunteer staff at WLPZ are always looking for new volunteers to expand their program offerings. For more information on how you can get involved, visit WLPZ.org.
Let me chime in. I want to thank LPZ for joining us, becoming a new broadcast partner. Wish everybody over there a happy Thanksgiving and continued success with us.
Fitchburg goes with a fake punt. Yaniel Silvestri was looking pass. He will throw to the middle of the field. Pass is caught. That flag is going to be up, as that is a lineman who made the catch. That is an ineligible receiver.
Nice hands, though.
He's excited.
He made a great catch. Let's credit a great catch on that one. I believe it was 53, and of course, one of the numbers we don't have available to us.
Aguilar came up, gave him a nice stick, and one of those gimmick plays we didn't expect, but didn't quite work out the way the Red Raiders had hoped.
Got to try something in a desperate moment here in running time. Final 95 seconds of this 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic. 80 seconds from now, this will become the 800th win in Leominster's program history, and you get to do it with a flourish against your arch rival.
Speaking of flourish, you think Leominster is going to try to do something here in the last minute, or are they going to go out gracefully?
Some new numbers on the field. Braden Martin is there at the running back spot. He'll get the carry, but a couple of new receivers out there as well. Memi Elias was flagged out as a receiver. Also, Aaron Christopher, the junior. Some of these names we'll be calling in the years ahead as well. They take up the receiver spots. Congratulations getting handed out on the sideline, as I believe all of the seniors are now over here on the sideline, and they're getting their last moment together. Braden Martin gets the handoff from Lopez. He'll take it forward. 38 seconds left here in the fourth quarter, and Bill Thomas will take that opportunity to join you as well. Thank our longtime partners, Leominster TV, under Executive Director Carl Pimarini, overseeing his last Thanksgiving operation today. Thank him so very much for the years and years and years of dedicated efforts in running Leominster TV as its Executive Director. Bradley Bedard's been with us all year long, organizing and making the magic happen on the TV side of things. Keith DePerry back at Master Control, and of course, all of our other great friends, Alan Redstone, Jack Selly, and the list goes on and on. Thank them all for their partnership as always. Our new partners, 95.1 FM, WLPZ, WLPZ.org. Sonny Levine, his great volunteer staff, we thank them so very much for being with us all year long. And Dick Tucker and Tucker 56 Radio, TUCKA 56radio.com. We thank them all so very much for being our partners this year in expanding the offerings of Rivalry Family Media to the world of football. It's great to be partnered with all of you. This one's gone final. The 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic, is in the books. Leominster is a winner today. Final score, Blue Devils 40 and Red Raiders 8. Leominster will take an all-time lead of 71 wins, 61 losses, and 10 ties all time. 71 wins, 61 losses, and 10 ties all time. And per the Dean of the Worcester Telegram Sports Department, one Bill Ballou, this is Leominster's 800th all-time victory here today.
Rarefied air. I believe
third high school in the state of Massachusetts.
I was going to say top 5, but yeah, rarefied air. Congratulations to the longevity and success of the entire Blue Devil program throughout the many years.
If I remember correctly, Everett and Brockton are the other two teams.
Go figure.
as you would expect.
Who might become future opponents down
Part
the road.
Of the Division
I'm hearing
One.
some rumors.
Certainly.
Won't let the cat out of the bag yet, but I hear we're going to Division One and some new potential opponents and some old friends.
I was going to say
coming back to the schedule.
New old friends,
yes,
as well. The celebration ensues down on Doyle Field today, and Leominster begins their celebration as requested. Kate, you've got to describe this one for me because I don't even know quite where to go with it, if I'll be honest. The players started singing Christmas carols together in the locker room the other day.
They did, and
there was some video.
Somebody got a video of it, and so they requested in the event that they were fortunate enough to win the game. They asked Mr. Tucker on the PA, can you please play Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You? And they're having a ball.
And they sung it at the top of their lungs in the locker room together the other day, and they will do it again down on Doyle Field's turf today. 40-8, Leominster a winner. The 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic. When will these two teams get together again? That will depend on the scheduling as things move forward. Bill Thomas alluded to it. There are divisional changes coming next year. That could change things for sure. What we can tell you is you can put it in the books for next Thanksgiving. These two teams will be at Crocker Field for a high school football game.
We don't have
We don't
have to wait for the schedule to come out to pencil that one in.
Correct. Thanksgiving will be there.
The other 8 games plus leading up, definitely in question. And looks encouraging, but the road ahead in Division 1 is going to become much more difficult for the Blue Devils. And but I think it's going to be an exciting journey, and we'll have to see how they match up with some of the best teams in the state next year.
I would love to see a Week 1 matchup between Fitchburg and Leominster again. I love the twice a year, the bringing that historic part of this series back, that kickoff classic. You end the year right here, right now. These Red Raiders walking off the field feeling not so great. Today's Thanksgiving turkey will be bitter, and you get a chance to come right back Week 1 next year and pay it back. I love that aspect of the series. So I'd love to see the kickoff classic continue. It has taken place the last 2 years. but the questions will continue as to whether that part of the series will continue. We can tell you Thanksgiving will continue, and they will be back together next Thanksgiving at Crocker Field. We'll have that action for you with our partners as well. What a day here at Doyle Field, and we're just getting started. For those of you that are joining us on Leominster TV, it's time now for you to grab your smart-enabled device or open your favorite digital media app. We have so much more to come here on RFM Audio, our post-game extra on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch, and with our partners on the radio, 95.1 FM, WLPZ, and WLPZ.org continues next. For those of you joining us on Leominster TV today, for Bradley Bedard, Keith DePerry, Carl Pemerini, and the rest of the family at Leominster TV, we say thank you so very much for being with us. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great holiday season. We'll see you for a little basketball in the month of December, hopefully, as well. But enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday today. Once again, the final here from Doyle Field. Leominster 40, Fitchburg 8. Leominster all-time lead, 71, 61-and-10. Leominster improves to 8-3 on the 2022 campaign. Fitchburg falls and finishes at 4-7. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins, saying so long to those of you joining us on Leominster TV. Join us for the post-game extra here for the Classic next. You're listening to the Classic on RFM Audio.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then, someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
More than 270,000 students from nearly 370 MIAA member schools will participate in over 100,000 high school sports competitions this year. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association encourages you to support your local high school athletic programs and the students who participate in them. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through educational athletics.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MIAA, are the 227,000 high school sports students in Massachusetts. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
The aims, the organization, and the policies of the MIAA are based on the philosophy that interscholastic activities, although a privilege and not a right, are important parts of the educational process. They should be encouraged, directed, and supported by a statewide organization. This organization's leaders should be representative of the state's schools and promote the further development of students' health and well-being. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association urges your support of this philosophy through your attendance at all local and state events. The MIAA and all its member institutions thank you. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through educational athletics.
This is Bob Sosi, the voice of New England football, for the best high school football action in North Central Mass, featuring our award-winning broadcast team of Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, and Kate Robbins. Keep it right here.
Thanksgiving Thursday, and 67 years to the day when Leominster won a football game by a 39-7 score on November 24th, 1955, behind the play of Frank Novak Sr. and Ron Palazzi in front of 9,000 fans here at Doyle Field in Charlie Broderick's 25th game in this series. Leominster, under the direction of head coach Devin Gates, and behind their freshman quarterback Osiris Lopez, and great senior play of Makai Newton, Ricky Encarnacion, and Steve Diaz, picks up a 40-8 victory to finish their year at 8-3 and to improve their all-time lead of 71, 61, and 10 in this series, and to amass the program's record 800th all-time victory per Bill Ballou of the Worcester Telegram, making them, according to Ballou, one of Leominster's one of the 40-ish teams across the country that have amassed 800 high school football wins. We were correct. Everett, 835 wins. Brockton, 820 wins. And Leominster now 800 wins with their win today. Post-game extra here for the 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic. Todd Robbins with Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins. Great to have you along with us here at Doyle Field today. Kate standing by. She's got her full game recap and stats, plus scores from around the region. So many games going on out there, keeping up those Thanksgiving traditions around Central Mass, and Kate will have those scores coming up for us as well as we continue here from Doyle Field. 40-8, Leominster downs Fitchburg for the 71st all-time win, and Bill Thomas, 40-8 was certainly a possibility. Leominster won back in week number 1 by a 48-6 score. But I think coming into this one, we thought Fitchburg had reached its peak for this season. And down the stretch, got some things together that today, once again, just didn't materialize.
Yeah, we expected a little more offensive. At least I did, Todd and Kate from the Fitchburg Red Raiders. But they had no answer for Leominster's full-on onslaught defensively, from the front four to the linebackers. Josh Cormier blowing up the run game every chance he gets. If the defensive linemen aren't making the stops, the linebackers, are cleaning it up. And the second half adjustments, whatever Fitchburg might have talked about, just try to get some momentum, quickly went away. And they gave up those 2 third-quarter scores, and the rut was on at that point.
And for Leominster, they came into this football game knowing that they had played better on the whole throughout this year, and that made them probably in a situation more dangerous because they weren't necessarily playing their best football in their last couple of games. The Reading game was a great battle, but the Taunton game, probably their worst game of the season. And now you've got to take a week off and then come into Thanksgiving, and they came out of the locker room and they said, we are going to amass points. And they did it by dominating the football game and keeping the ball on the ground. It was kind of a combination of what Shrewsbury tried to do to Leominster in the 8th week of the season, which is limit the number of possessions they had, but then mix that with Leominster's vaunted offense, but they did it on the ground. They shortened the game, and then when the opportunities presented themselves, they struck downfield.
Well, and I think the philosophy from the offensive coaching side of the Blue Devils was, let's change it up a little bit, pull the Red Raider defense in. Now they got to start thinking about the run when they probably concentrated on the passing game the entire week. And then that just opens up the receiving possibilities. We saw, Steven Diaz and Ricky Encarnacion get behind the defense, Drinkwater, and that comes from the running game. You inch in an extra yard because now you're trying to protect the corner. You're trying to cut that gap off in the middle. But you get beat by the wide receivers and you get beat by speed. And you can't coach speed. If you got speed that can get that initial break, and you got somebody with hands out there like a Drinkwater and an Encarnacion, and you got a Lopez dropping the ball in on dimes just over the top, that's hard to defend. And the Blue Devils were operating on all cylinders, both running game. Usually the passing game helps the running game because now you open up the defense, you spread them out. I think it worked in reverse there. The running game, really helped light the fire under the offense in the passing game side. And I think that's where the success was. It really started with the running game, the front four offensively, which is a lot of the same people we talk about on defense, the seniors. And they really led the way today.
Indeed, they did. As the Leominster High School Marching Band plays their post-game performance as our music bed, we get ready for Kate's final stats in this one. Kate, why don't you pass me that packet over there, and you take it away. Kate's post-game recap and final numbers for this Leominster win today by a 40-8 margin.
All right, let's...
Oops, sorry, Kate, wrong button. Go ahead.
All righty.
Backwards.
Let's take a look at team totals first. First for the Red Raiders. 93 total yards of offense, 89 coming via the pass, just 4 net rushing yards on the day. 41 plays on offense. They had 4 turnovers on the day. They possessed the ball for 24 minutes, though, so second half, Fitchburg wins the time of possession. For the Blue Devils, 384 yards of total offense, 158 coming via the pass, 226 coming via the rush on 49 plays on offense, 1 turnover for the Blue Devils. And again, time of possession evened out, 24 minutes for the Blue Devils as well. Individual notable statistics for the Red Raiders. Devani De Leon out of the backfield had 7 rushes for the Red Raiders. Out of the quarterback position, the combination of Lucas Bolak and Tyler Brassard were 9 of 16 passing on the day for 89 total yards. They made passes and receptions to 4 different receivers. Josh Medina had 5 receptions totaling 45 yards. Harvey Early had 1 reception for 17 yards. Dorian Wells had 2 receptions for 16 yards. And Josh Nardi had a single reception for 11 yards. Fitchburg's lone touchdown came with 4:22 remaining in the third quarter. That's the 17-yard touchdown reception by Harvey Early. 2-point conversion was good. That's where Fitchburg gets their 8 points. Now on the other side of the ball for the Blue Devils, individual notable statistics. The senior, Mackay Stinson Newton, out of the backfield, 17 rushes for 117 of Leominster's 226 rushing yards. He also had 3 receptions for 22 yards. Braden Martin had 2 rushes on the day. Ricky Encarnacion, 4 rushes on the day for the Blue Devils. If we take a look at Osiris Lopez, the freshman quarterback, he was 10 of 17 passing for 158 yards of passing offense. He completed passes to 5 separate receivers. Encarnacion had 3 receptions on the day for 35 yards. Caden Drinkwater had a pair of receptions for 61 yards. Mackay Newton, again, 3 receptions on the day for 22 yards. Steve Diaz had a 37-yard reception, as well as did the tight end Josh Cormier, had a 3-yard reception. We take a look at Leominster's 6 touchdowns on the day. In the first quarter, the 29-yard touchdown reception by the freshman Caden Drinkwater. 2-point conversion was good. Leominster was up 8-0. Leominster had a pair of touchdowns in the second quarter, the 4-yard fumble recovery by Drinkwater, and the 37-yard touchdown reception by Steve Diaz. Leominster again had a pair of touchdowns in the third quarter, 32-yard touchdown reception by the freshman Drinkwater. That was his 3rd touchdown on the day, and a 19-yard touchdown rush by Mackay Newton. Then to round things out in the fourth quarter with 7:21 remaining in the game, Ricky Encarnacion, Mr. Everything, Mr. Excitement, had a 24-yard touchdown reception to cap things off. 40-8 is your final score. Leominster over Fitchburg. Todd?
In what was a phenomenal performance today from the Blue Devils from end to end, and those numbers certainly do bear it out, to say the least. Kate, I did my level best to try to update the scores from around the region, but my favorite thing, we update you for all the scores until the game ends, and then we don't give you a final score. So unfortunately, not able to get all of those. But let's get those scores in quickly here before we wrap things up. Final scoreboard here around the region, Kate.
All right, once again, yesterday we had several games on the Thanksgiving Eve slate. St. John's of Shrewsbury, a winner over Malden Catholic, 56-20 your final there. North Middlesex, a victor over Myasabet Valley Aztecs, 55-28 your final there. Monty Tech beats Neshoba Valley Tech last night, 44-8. Worcester Tech beats Abbey Kelly last night, 26-6. St. Bernard's a victor over St. Paul's in the Bishop's Cup, 48-20 your final out at Assumption College last night in that one. South High beats Worcester North last night, 48-16 your final there. And in their 100th meeting, Watertown beats Belmont 21-7. That meeting happened at Fenway Park. Then, if we take a look at today, Turkey Day, Thursday's slate of games. Oxford, a victor over Bay Path today, 42-6, the final there. Valley Tech beats Nipmuc. The Warriors, Bill Thomas, 48-20, the final in that one. We only have a halftime score out of Algonquin. Algonquin was on top of Westboro 17-7 at the half. We have an end of third quarter score, high scoring game between Wachusett and Shrewsbury. Wachusett up 42-27. That's an end of 3. Marlboro, we have a halftime score, 14-0 over Hudson. Final, Neshoba beats Clinton, 34-21, the final there. Halftime score out at Maynard. Maynard on top of West Boylston, 28-6. Remember, West Boylston has a Super Bowl coming up, Division 7 Super Bowl next Friday, so likely second teamers playing for West Boylston in that one. Halftime score out at Oakmont. Oakmont was on top of Lunenburg 21-14 there. We've got a final out at Air Shirley. Air Shirley beats Littleton 20-14. Moving on, Quabbin beats Gardner 34-21, your final there. Shepherd Hill, a victor over Tantascwa today. They got the shutout victory 14-0, the final there. Final out at Millbury. Millbury, a victor over Grafton. Once again, Grafton is also going to be the other opponent in that Division 7 Super Bowl, so Grafton also likely putting their second teamers out 37-13, the final.
Okay, just a small adjustment there. Grafton is the Division 4 Super Bowl.
Oh, 4, pardon me.
St.
Right.
Bernard's with the win last night.
St. Bernard's with the win.
Yeah, that's
Thank
the
you.
Division 7. St. Bernard's in West Boylston.
Uxbridge was on top of Northbridge 21-6, and that is our Around the Region here for this special Thanksgiving Eve and Thanksgiving Day set of matchups. Todd?
Indeed. What a day. What a day here at Doyle Field. And Bill Thomas, I'll get you an opportunity here just to sum this one up, based on what we saw today. I mean, it's the 800th win all time. Amazing to be a part of that as well. It is, Leominster's 71st victory in this series, and it's just a day from end to end. I mean, a picture-perfect day. Everybody engaged. Massive crowd on hand. Probably one of the best ones we've seen in years.
Absolutely, Todd. I couldn't agree more. And I'm just happy to be a part of this and to be able to share it with the people that can't be here, because there's no other game like this matchup on Thanksgiving, whether it's here or over at Crocker Field, Red Raiders home venue. And it's one game I really look forward to all year. Not that I don't look forward to the season, but this is a given, regardless of how both teams have performed leading up to this game, that the energy and excitement is going to be there, at least for the opening kickoff, and the crowd's going to show up and support both teams. And we saw that today. I don't think the score is indicative of the season that either team had. Leominster, a little more success. They showed how to do it offensively, and I think that's what we've come to expect as the season wore on. Fitchburg did a nice job of turning the season around. Fortunately, it ends on a low note, but they'll be back next year, and this score is going to linger. Players that come back next year that don't graduate, they're going to have something to play for. They're going to have a chip on their shoulder next year for sure.
And the coffee shop quarterbacks will spend time discussing where this series is, the overall health of this series. And, people will start to compare it to the series that kind of disappeared with a merger. But St. John's and St. Peter's became awfully lopsided at the tail end of that series, where St. Peter's just was not competitive in that football game. And in that series, it was not near as old as Leominster and Fitchburg, but it was an awfully old rivalry series. Now, that series broke when St. Peter's merged with Holy Name to create St. Paul's now, and then St. Paul's did not connect with St. John's for a series. St. John's now plays Malden Catholic for their Thanksgiving opponent. St. Paul's connected with St. Bernard's for that series. But people will sit there and go, are there two programs here anymore, or is there one really dominant program and one who comes and plays every year? And I don't see it that way. That is what the coffee shop perspective will say. I don't see it that way at all. I believe that, yes, we have been in a run of Leominster teams, and Leominster has played phenomenally well in this series and continues to play phenomenally well in this series in the last 15, now 16 meetings. But that is one game away from turning around and going 16 games in a slide in the other direction.
Oh, and we've seen it if you look at the history of both of these teams for sure. And I think some of what we're seeing is the numbers. The two schools have been going in different directions the last few years, which creates a divide talent-wise. I'm not sure if Fitchburg's going to stay in D3 or they might even drop back another level to D4 next year. We know we're anticipating going up to D1. That's a pretty big disparity, when it comes to numbers. And they have numbers divisions for a reason. But I hope there's no good reason that this rivalry ever dies out, whether one team's Division 1, the other team's Division 8. If they can get, I'd say 22 players, but if they can get 11 players to show up on either side, I think this rivalry is going to continue for many years to come, irregardless of the turnouts and the divisions the teams are assigned to. Yeah, the schedules are going to change. I'm not too sure about playing twice. PowerPoints have become so important. But the Thanksgiving game, people say it doesn't mean anything. It means more than people think that it means to the players and the communities. Yeah, it might not mean something to the big picture people like, oh, you got to win the Super Bowl. If you don't go to the Super Bowl, you didn't have a good season. Where's your success? We see success right here in this type of game, this type of rivalry. Super Bowl irregardless, notwithstanding. And I think this will continue forever. I'd like to say forever. I don't see why it would.
School and administrators who make those arguments that, it's about the playoffs and it's not about Thanksgiving come from communities that do not have strong Thanksgiving rivals.
I couldn't agree more.
And that is where that is at. In this series, that is ground in. Frankly, we all know this, having experienced it long enough now, that regardless of anything else that happened with the postseason and Super Bowl wins and everything else, if you beat your rival, Fitchburg beats Leominster, Leominster beats Fitchburg, nobody cares about anything else. Successful season if you beat your arch rival. That's the way it is judged in this series in these Twin Cities.
Yeah, and something as little as a playoff game when teams are going in different directions. We saw it 5 or 6 years ago when Fitchburg came in here and shut Leominster out 7-0 when both teams were going in opposite directions that year. And I think Leominster might have been the top seed. Fitchburg was at the bottom when they came into the playoffs that year. Different system, but still, things like that happen. And, here we got talent-wise, I think the talent level balances off in most years when it comes to this rivalry. When it comes to most long-time rivalries, people find a different level when it comes to playing in this type of game. And we're seeing it today by the excitement before the game, during the game, and now post-game between the band. The players still rejoicing out on the field, taking pictures, and just having a lot of fun with the day in general.
And the confetti photos that are going on down here
I'm sure somebody's cursing whoever brought the confetti gun because, there's no
Somebody's got to vacuum that up.
There's no spitting, no gum. Be careful where you're walking. And But it's a great tribute to a great season that these kids had, and they deserve to celebrate.
And a great celebration and round of applause for the band members who are finishing up their performance out here on Doyle Field today as well.
And a tribute to the band, too. We've seen their numbers grow over the last couple of years. They're making a resurgence. They sound fantastic, and I'm going to stop talking.
They're going to have the alma mater here. We'll take that. And the Leominster High School alma mater to put the flourish on this 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic. And ends our high school football season. And, of course, the broadcast season has only just begun. The winter ahead, spring after that. We've got a lot of fun ahead for you, and we'll have more information on that in the coming weeks. But we thank you so very much for being supporters of ours throughout this season and into this RFM audio transition. It has been a phenomenal experience this season, and cannot say enough about the support that we have received across the board and across the communities as well. And with our partners, 95.1 FM, WLPZ and WLPZ.org, and Tucka 56 Radio and Tucka56radio.com. We thank all of you so very much for your support. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins, saying thank you so very much for joining us for this 142nd meeting of Leominster and Fitchburg, the 116th Thanksgiving Day Classic. Leominster's a winner today, 40-8, the final score. All-time record, 71 wins, 61 losses, and 10 ties, all-time for the Blue and Whites. We thank you so very much for being a part of our family. We say happy Thanksgiving to all of you, wherever you are enjoying this one. And until the basketball season ahead, we say, so long, everybody.
Tradition, legacy, history. These words all describe a player, coach, or contributor's impact on a game, program, or generation. Each week this season, student athletes of this generation will square off with the goal of best representing their community today or for years to come.
Neil O'Connor finds Jake Elaine. Alan Glennie quarterbacks his ball club. Delakiai's in the end zone.
And calling signals, Dave Palazzi.
John Ulecki.
Warren Muir.
LeQueer.
Jack Rodequins.
Bobby Mativier.
Jason Toomley.
Devin Gates.
Quentin Tiggs.
Cortez Ludden.
Di Geronimo.
Stephanides.
Sean Dupuis.
McDonald.
Graham.
Quentin Perkins. Geraldo Rivera.
Gray makes the catch in the end zone for the touchdown.
Who will have their name weaved among the tapestry of legends? Who can add their name among the football greatest in Central Massachusetts? You'll find out right here on RFM, continuing a legacy and tradition of audio excellence established by generations of great play-by-play teams gone before.
Yours truly, Tom Connery, Dave Spence, and Warren Muir.
This is Joe White. With me this morning is Dickey and Ron Lamont.
Ed Coleman along with Joe DeCarolis and Mark Landon.
This is Dave Clark along with Mike Flynn.
I'm Dave Spence along with my partner Luke Connery.
Todd Robbins alongside Ben Parker.
Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us.
Stories told through the words spun by legends. The stories continue to be described by the award-winning team of today. It's time for high school football with the award-winning team of Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, and Kate Robbins.